boys in the back. 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 Back boys in the back. Boys in the back. Back boys.
Good. We are back with another edition of Boys in the Back. This time a Halloween special. You're joined by the heavyweight champ of the world, Stone Cold Conner Burks. Let's get a full look at this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Come on. Look at the back of the vest. Look at the jorts. Look at the boots. Look at the full thing going here. Promises made, promises delivered. We come with our costumes on this Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody. And you're probably wondering, Stone Cold Conner, where is your partner in crime, the other boy in the back, Mr. NewYorkRic? He's not one to dress up. He's not one to put on the costumes. He's not one to get in the Halloween spirit. But today, he promised us he would have some fun. He would actually get dressed up. We have no idea. Not a single member of the team has any idea what he's dressed up as. He's made all of these grandiose promises. It's going to be so amazing. I'm told he's ready. I'm told he's ready to come in. He's just on the other side of the door. Here he comes. It is
What is it?
This is a cow in a Bulls uniform?
Conner. Hello, my friend.
Am I the only one that isn't getting this?
I did this just for you, Conner. Who is this player?
Who
Who is number 9 on the Bulls?
Dang? Who's number 9 on the Bulls right
Who's
now?
number 9? No, you're right.
Moo Dang.
Moo Dang!
I get it. Oh,
Moo
that's
Dang.
clever.
Oh, this is amazing.
Oh,
It's
man.
Moo Dang. Oh, this is
I'm
amazing.
actually cracking up. That's funny.
shout out. If you
Moo
don't
Dang.
know, oh, this is great. And it's spelled D-E-N-G. Moo Dang.
Moo Dang.
Wow. I can't lie. This is actually an unbelievable costume.
I did it for you.
So this whole time you've been saying how much I would appreciate this because I am Moo Dang's biggest fan. If you don't know Moo Dang, it is the cutest hippo in the world.
That's
Gone
right.
viral sensation. I now get it why you said I would appreciate it. I mean, it was back in early September. I was trying to put you and
You were
Frank
pushing.
on game. I was like, you guys seen this hippo yet? You guys seen this hippo? This was before Moo Dang hit
Blew up, yeah.
the streets and went mainstream. You know, now I don't really like her as much because she's gone mainstream. This is incredible. This is incredible. Luol Deng jersey.
Luol Deng jersey.
With the cow
With the
costume
cow
underneath.
onesie.
Moo Dang. That's a winner. These
wanna hear-
are two winner costumes.
I want to
right
hear Frank. I want to hear Frank's thoughts on this.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Speechless.
it's
Speechless.
amazing, and I like
Couldn't
it a
have gone
lot.
better.
Okay.
I was dying laughing, and I just finally stopped.
That is
Because
actually
that is
amazing.
really clever.
I thought I had it good with this. I mean, the custom vest, the heavyweight belt, the strap. I've been working out in the gym. I got the boots. I got the jorts. I got everything. But I mean, this is an absolute winner right here. This is incredible. Are you going to trick or treat in this?
No, we've got family costumes. We've got like I'm the Crayola box, and the kids are the Crayola crayons. And my wife is also a big crayon. So this was a one-time only for you, the fans of Boys in the Back, and most importantly for my co-host here, Conner Burks.
I have to say, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this. I actually can't wipe my smile off of my face for multiple reasons, how great the costume is, but also you're having such a great Halloween. You're doing a 2-costume day. This is the early part of the day costume, and then we're going to get into the night one for a guy that only owns black T-shirts.
That's right.
This is truly incredible. We're going to have a lot of Halloween fun later. Our pound for pound candy rankings. We'll
Can't wait for that.
Take a trip down memory lane. We'll have a lot of fun. But the best part about these Thursday shows, man, we said it last week. We're able to react. We're able to give our thoughts on breaking news and digest situations live on the air rather than having to wait till Monday. And we got some big breaking news this morning. Belal Muhammad, welterweight champion of the world, out of his matchup against Shavkat Rakhmonov for UFC 310, the main event. Now, what do? Let's bring in our man, uncrowned MMA insider El Nariz, joining the program. Even Helwani's in it.
You gotta love it.
I absolutely love it. I am on
Love
cloud nine right now. I mean, this is from all the MMA hour days when I was the only one dressing up. Now look at this. We got everyone in costumes. I am ecstatic. How are we doing, Helwani?
We're in the spirit. It's rare that we have an actual show on Halloween. It's a beautiful Thursday afternoon here in the tri-state area. It's like 80 degrees outside, guys.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
hot.
it's absolutely
It's hot.
beautiful. Look at your window back there. Look at that beautiful thing. And yes, El
Might crack
Nariz.
it open.
Please, just make sure you don't jump out of it. We're worried about those things. El Nariz doesn't often make an appearance these days. He is with us in spirit, but he is the greatest Canadian luchador of all time. And so, yes, we are here not to crack any pointers, not to crack the whip, not to be a negative Nancy, not to be, the no fun police. Oh, everyone gets all in their feelings on the chat and the comments about that. No, we are here to deliver some news. And so I do have some updates. The beauty of doing a daily show, guys, is that we can actually react to things on a daily basis. Who knew? What a concept. So yes, let us start with the 170-pound division. Belal Muhammad is officially out of UFC 310. It was scheduled for December 7th in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, going up against Shavkat Rakhmonov. The toe looks pretty gnarly. If you're eating dinner or lunch or breakfast right now, wherever you may be in the world, you may want to look away. I do believe we have photos of said toe, and any suggestion that this man is just looking for a reason to withdraw, because you see this, you hear this very early on. I don't know when this photo was specifically taken, but that is not a good-looking toe right in the middle. I'm not sure what the actual name of the middle toe is, but whatever the case is, that's not good-looking. He was in the hospital. He posted a video. I mean, that's after the fact. It looks like they just popped it. Not sure what's going on with the toenails there on the big one and the other one, why they are that color, but that's neither here nor there. It's not for me to discuss all of that. Yeah, there he is in the hospital, and we do wish him a speedy recovery. And so as a result of that, the fight is off. Reached out to Rakhmonov's team, and they are saying that as of right now, they found out about this early this week, Monday, Tuesday this week. So it's been a couple of days. I do want to give a shout out to the young man on Twitter. I believe you know who he is, Rick, who reported this first. Can you give me his name?
Bindaman, I believe.
No, it was the Italian bloke.
Alzolino.
Alzolino, yeah.
That's the young man. Yes, bellissimo. Well done to you. Hat tip. And so he is out. And right now there is no plan in place as far as the main event for 310 is concerned. Shavkat's involvement, you see Ian Gary posting the clip of him saying he wants to fight Shavkat. Back in the day, a few months ago, he said he wants to be the one to take the O away. He's trained with him in the past. I mean, if I'm Shavkat, why would I take that fight? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. I can understand Ian shooting his shot, and I would love to see that fight. And I think we all said when Ian said that we would love to see that fight, but I could certainly understand Shavkat being like, unless you're going to make this for an interim title, I'm going to wait. He tweets, wishing Belal a quick recovery. We'll meet when you're back at 100%. For now, I'm ready to take on any contender for the interim title at 310. And so do they make Ian Gary versus Shavkat? They haven't talked about that. They haven't put that in place just yet. The other thing that has been thrown out, of course, Alex Pereira, the MVP in many people's eyes. We'll find out in our collective eyes as well in January of the UFC and Male Fighter of the Year potentially. Will he get his number called once again to save the day? Short notice for potentially the fourth time in 2024. I reached out to his team as well, and they said as of right now, no one has reached out to them. No calls have been made, and he does have a couple of big trips planned: Korea, Mexico, and he would like to fulfill those trips. I would be very, very surprised. Never count him out. I'm not saying it's not happening, but there's no need for it to happen, a little over a month away from now. So as of right now, 310, fluid, developing situation. We do have one title fight already on the card. That's Alexandre Pantoja, who we spoke to earlier in the week, going up against Kaya Sakura, who is celebrating a birthday. And we do not know if they will add another title fight to the card. And so let me ask you guys this. A, do you want to see an interim welterweight title fight? Do you think that's even fair to Belal, considering he just won the belt in July? We're typically not big fans of interim titles. I'm not a huge fan of them as well. And B, if you do want to see an interim title, if you're the UFC right now, you got the pencil, are you guys interested in booking Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Gary for the welterweight interim title fight, or is there someone else out there?
I'm definitely interested in Shavkat versus Ian Gary. I don't think it needs to be for an interim title, but you need to figure out a way to get it above the flyweight fight. And I guess if they're okay, even though it's a title fight, being second, being the co-main, then I'm okay with it not being for a title, and then winner gets Belal Muhammad. Obviously, we also don't know kind of the timeline for recovery for Belal yet. I know how long that injury is going to take to recover and how long it's going to take for him to feel like he's capable of getting back to training. So interim feels unnecessary, but I understand if it's a mechanism to make it the main event of the card. Very interested in that fight. If I know you just said like there's no need for Alex Pereira to step in. If it happened, I'd be all for it. I mean, it seems like Alex Pereira is always there to save the day when needed. And this would just be another example of it. But I do think that Ian Gary and Shavkat is a suitable replacement.
Yeah, I'd love to see the fight, but from Shavkat's point of view, I'm just not exactly sure why you wouldn't just wait. I mean, you've already earned the title shot. You were going to be in it, and now with the Belal injury, why just fight another contender, to essentially secure your shot at undisputed gold? So as much as I want to see the fight, I just don't know why Shavkat would do it. I know he mentioned it in the tweet, but it just feels like he should wait until Belal is healed up.
It'll be very interesting. Imagine Colby Covington emerges and says, give me an interim title fight when they were telling Ian Gary that he was injured. They tried to make that fight for December. It will be interesting to see if he raises his hand, because as of right now, if you look at the welterweight rankings, Leon 1, Usman 2, Shavkat 3, Jack Della 4, Sean Brady 5, Colby Covington 6, Machado Gary 7. I would love to see Leon Edwards versus Shavkat, but again, to your point, if you're Shavkat, you got the title shot, unless they're giving you the interim belt, which typically acts as the real title in terms of the benefits that you can get from it, in terms of the pay-per-view points and all that. I don't see any reason why he would take any fight, unless they just, up the ante. Even then, is a Pantoja Asakura main event with a Shavkat, Leon Shavkat, Ian Shavkat, anyone co-main enough for pay-per-view? It's not the worst card of all time, but that leads to the other point I wanted to bring up. If you just look at the rankings right now, we know about DDP and Strickland. Are they gonna do that in a little over a month? I would be shocked. DDP doesn't seem like the type of guy that wants to do that, and we still don't even know if they're officially going to go the DDP route. We just spoke about Alex Pereira, and I would be shocked if that happens. Pantoja is on the card. Merab isn't ready. He's already told us that. Ilya just fought. That's at 145. Issam and Arman currently penciled in for mid-January in Inglewood, California. Welterweight is what we're talking about. DDP we just mentioned. Pereira we just mentioned. And the heavyweight title is on the line in November, just a few weeks prior. There is Zhang out there. There is Valentina, who I know has been traveling the world. And I guess they can call her number. Juliana and Kayla out there as well. But this is a tough one. And somewhat reminiscent, not as late notice as, remember the last pay-per-view of the year just 2 years ago when Yuri got hurt and they had to do Magomed and Jan Blachowicz on short notice, and that ended up being a draw, and then it ended up leading to the Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill fight. So they have a little more time now. They have a little over a month, but as of right now, nothing said as far as what the new main event will be for 310.
Yeah, I'm very curious after you just went through the rankings on what they're going to do. Like, because, like you mentioned with Islam, it feels like you're going to have to pull from another card if you want to save this one, or you're going to have to pull a rabbit out of your hat with like another Alex Pereira, or you make like I don't know, like you mentioned Valentina. What if Valentina and Zhang fought each other? You make a Zhang go up to try and get double champ status or something like that.
Call Alex Pereira. Oh, as always is the answer in the scenario. Call Alex Pereira.
Injured, busy.
Alex versus who? Magomed? Get it out of the way?
Yeah. That's what you would do.
Magomed, okay, but if Magomed doesn't want to take it, another opportunity for him to be sidelined if that's their mission. I think you call Alex.
Listen, this, in my opinion, favors Magomed more so than Alex. If I'm Alex, I don't like this because, A, I probably need a little more time to prepare for someone like Magomed. Maybe. One thing to take a short notice fight against a striker or someone you've already fought. And B, Magomed, yeah, he just fought. I don't think too banged up. Remember the litany of things that Alex talked about just a few weeks prior. The infection, the antibiotics, the toe, the ribs. If I'm him, why? Why would you take arguably your toughest test as a champion, light heavyweight or middleweight, on a month's notice? You've done them enough favors. If I'm his team, unless they're throwing like $10 million at you, why are we doing that?
I was going to say, money, like if he just got the most insane offer ever to come and do it. But I do agree with you. He's got all these plans for travel. He's banged up. He's already fought 3 times this year, saving, all 3 of those cards essentially. As much as fun as it is to joke about it, I don't see it happening.
I'd pay it, whatever it costs.
Honestly, If you did pay it, like, you have this potential for this superstar to just keep going more and more nuclear. Like, if he fights on this short notice and he beats Magomed Ankalaev, like, it's just like, it would be one of the greatest years in UFC history. Like, it would be the most, like, how fast it would have taken him to get to 4 title defenses if he wins. Like, he would just be so nuclearly hot, it'd be hard to imagine.
Yeah, I just don't know if he's proven enough as a pay-per-view draw to where it's worth breaking the bank for him. By the way, speaking of belts, shout out to you, GC, who is a noted non-wrestling fan, for dressing up A as Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the greatest of all time, but B, having the WWF title right in front of you and not going with a 2010, 2012, 2014 version of the title. You've got the late 90s version of the title, the one that Stone Cold had, the greatest era of all time, the Bret Hart version. Did you do this on purpose,
yes,
or is that just the one?
I'm literally smiling ear to ear right now hearing you say this. I tried to make this as accurate as possible. This is like the vest is like an independent artist off of eBay that I had to like ship this thing in.
Yeah, that's
the belt took a minute to find, man, to like match it up.
But how did you even know that? How did you know that it changed? You don't even watch wrestling.
I got people. I got friends in high places.
Wow.
Google Images also was a big help. Jean shorts. Like, I'm matching the dye on the shorts.
Wow,
these are light wash shorts. This is exactly what Stone Cold would be wearing. I got black boots on. I got the knees.
Wow, I didn't see all this.
We're ready to go, man. We're ready to go.
Yeah, no, this is high level.
I appreciate you recognizing the game, though, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, the belt, that's my favorite belt of all time. That's like my prime, late 90s, and then they changed it all up with the spinning belt for John Cena. By the way, one more little nugget. Speaking of belts, speaking of champions, all that stuff and more, you'll recall on Monday, Helwani show, we had, of course, Alexander the Great Volkanovski, a.k.a. Volk. We had him on the program. Great stuff from him. And then on Tuesday's program, we had Diego Lopez. Volk on Monday saying, I'm waiting for Ilia Topuria. We see him in the cage on Saturday night. On Tuesday, Diego Lopez throws out the suggestion, hey, let me fight Alexander the Great in Sydney in February. Interim title, maybe. Yeah, I don't know how much it makes sense, but let me throw it out there, see what happens. All kinds of reaction to this. And I'll be honest, these days, in Elon Musk's Twitter world, I have no idea who's real, who's not, what's a troll account, what isn't. But I have seen several tweets of people saying that Volk versus Lopez is either in the works, or even I saw one saying it was signed for February. I believe it's February 12th in Sydney. I'm told right now, no truth to that whatsoever. It has not been even presented. It has not been discussed. They are not pushing for it right now. Again, things could change between now and February, now and January, now and December, now and even November. It's the last day of October. But as of right now, the plan is Topuria versus Volk in the springtime, and Spain is an option. It's a real thing. Let's see if they get it done. But that's the plan as of right now.
Okay, I saw a lot of those tweets as well with Lopez and Volk, so I was very curious on that situation. So nothing there, and I'm just gonna hope for Spain. Ilya and Volk in Spain in the springtime.
Can I show you guys something real cool before I go? Speaking of luchadors, my favorite luchador mask that I have. 1 second.
Oh, hit the TV.
That bookshelf is
where did that sun come from on that bookshelf there?
This one,
is it a window?
This one I got in Mexico City. This one is a CMLL, like it's legit. This one I have as well, also from Mexico City. I love this one. I mean, this one covers, if I may, just for a moment.
Oh, it covers the full face.
This one covers the full face.
Did you see Alex Pereira in Mexico City last week, and he was rocking the full face cover one? Oh, that one.
I did not see that. This one's pretty damn cool, if I do say so myself.
I love the silver eyes.
But this one was a gift.
Oh, wow. How many do we have?
From the legendary Rey Mysterio Jr. It doesn't quite fit me, but for Money in the Bank Las Vegas in 2000, it's like really tight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Squeeze it on, man. Come on. We'll get there.
You can do this.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't do it.
Is your head grown?
There we go.
There it is.
I mean, look at this.
Look at that.
For Money in the Bank, custom. You see that? You see the money?
Yeah, we see the money.
Oh, yeah, we see the money, brother.
You see, this is from Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, it looks
in my
just
house.
like his mask. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You look
Gifted
like Rey
directly to
Mysterio
you.
right now.
From his hands to yours.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just tight. It's a little tight here. I need to open it up. But yeah, he gave it to me.
God, it looks great, man.
Yeah, that's perfect.
What's on
can I
tap
have
for
that
today?
one?
What do we got today? We got some pound for pound rankings.
Pound for pound rankings, Halloween candy. We're going to do UFC Edmonton preview. We're going to talk to our guy Petesy Carroll. Do you have a quick rankings of Halloween candy? Do you have a favorite?
Just give us your favorite. What's your favorite?
This is unofficial, being put on the spot here. Can hardly breathe. It's choking me. I love peanut butter. So anything with peanut butter is huge. So I typically go towards Reese's. Lately, they've been having these sort of like pumpkins. The pumpkin shaped ones.
Right. They do that.
Can I give a quick shout out? No one paid me to do this, but the good people over at Feastables, which is the company owned by Mr. Beast, and I have nothing to do with Lunchly and all that stuff. Some way, somehow, they got my address and they sent me a box, and there's a QR code, and you scan it, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Beast pops up. And all of a sudden, he says, hey, I want you guys to have a great Halloween. And there's all his little Feastable things in there. There's a cookies and cream, a regular, another one I don't remember, and then a peanut butter. The peanut butter is maybe the greatest peanut butter chocolate bar I've ever tasted because it like actually comes out somehow. It's not like hard peanut butter. It's actually like gooey. It's tremendous. In addition to that, he gave us a thick stack of, I think, either 100 ones or 200 ones, and says, give these out to your trick-or-treaters as well. Like $1 bills.
Wow.
U.S. Legit.
This is
be
a paid
nice.
sponsorship.
No. I mean, he just gave it to me to give out to kids. I'm going to give it out.
Yours is going to be the best house tonight. So not only are you going to give out full-size candy bars that you love to just constantly brag about, but you're also going to be giving out money, cash, cold hard cash.
And Feastables. I mean, who's got Feastables?
Feastables and Prime be the cool kids on the block? Or is Prime old news?
Well, we're Celsius guys here.
Okay. Lunchleys?
No, it's Celsius, Feastables. I mean, we have no allegiances. We're actually open for business at the moment. Deals have expired, so if anyone wants to hit us up, if anyone's out there, I don't know, a C4, a Monster.
A C4, we can get in the gym. I've been in the gym lately. We can get in there.
Yeah.
Monster? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
So anyway,
just in.
peanut butter
What?
and Bounty. I love a good Bounty.
Shout out.
Did you just say
shout out to
this
Bounty.
just in?
This just in, yeah. There was a poll in the chat for who had the best costume today.
Okay.
It was between Conner,
Okay.
Rick, and Ariel.
Okay.
Oh.
That's what I was expecting.
And Conner takes the cake.
Oh,
There we go.
wow.
Yeah,
I actually,
the chat
this
has
feels like a
spoken.
wrongful victory with how good and creative Rick's costume is. The Moodang. Do you?
Ariel, do you know who Moodang is? Do you know what Moodang is?
I will be honest, when you came out, I saw Luol Deng, and I'm like, I mean, I know you're a Fugazi Cavs fan, so this
No,
makes no sense.
I wouldn't go
He
there.
did
Don't
have a
do
cup
that.
of
Don't
coffee.
try that.
He
Don't
did
try
have a
that.
cup of coffee, I believe, with the Cavs, right? Back in the day.
He did.
And then I saw
Cavs
the
legend.
cow. I had no idea what you were talking about, but it's that little thing that looks like a hippopotamus,
It's the hippo.
right?
Oh, yeah.
It
It is a
is
So
hippo.
hippo.
once you explained it, I understood.
Yeah, pygmy
it.
hippo.
And,
It's a great costume.
Connor was talking Moodang
It's a good
all
costume
day.
because it's a light explanation. You just have to
Yeah.
be like Moodang, and everyone's like,
Moodang.
oh,
Nah, it's good. Did you buy the Dang jersey?
Yeah, I did.
I
had
love
to,
it.
I had to order that on eBay.
Commitment to the bit. I love it.
The cow was easier. That was an Amazon. But as soon as I thought of it, I was like, Connor's really gonna like
I love it.
Moodang.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I appreciate your masks, Ariel. Appreciate the news as well, man. I mean, we got an update on the Belal situation. Nothing really moving yet, and then no truth to the Diego Lopez versus Alexander Volkanovski.
Right now, have to make a call. What is the main event of UFC 310?
Oh fuck. I mean, they might have to pull a rabbit out of their hat, and then all bets are off. But I just don't
Throw
see
up a
an
BMF
obvious
all
one.
of a sudden, like a
Oh,
random,
please God, no.
random
Oh,
BMF
please God, no.
title
I
fight.
said, a lot of people got very mad at me for that one. Daily Ariel L. I saw. I mean, come on. This is, you know what this is? This is a pay-per-view title. Anytime they need a title fight, let's resurrect this thing.
It used to be interim. Now they've moved it. We don't even
I was
need
gonna
to
say,
do
yes.
interim. We can just do BMF.
Yes.
It's essentially like adding spanking an interim title on there.
Yep.
Yeah, but at this point, they've actually gamed the system. Oh, okay, interim title, you kind of have to take the top two guys, and like sometimes they're not big draws. BMF be like, oh, hey, top star at 45, top star at 55.
Yep.
Oh, let's just throw these guys together. Oh, hey, 170-pound guys not in the title chase. Let's just throw these guys together. I hope Nate Diaz gets royalties every time they do this, 'cause it's literally his idea. But something
Who's it going to
tells me
be?
he doesn't.
310 main event.
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, you're give me Zhang versus Valentina or some
Okay.
crazy shit like that. But I don't see it happening. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. So right now, Your guess is as good as mine. What about you?
My
guys?
guess is Pereira, Magomed Ankalaev.
Yeah,
Serious.
All of us doubting
believe
Alex
that.
Pereira. He saves the day again. Gets his biggest payday to date to take on.
And then you haters will still say Topuria is the male fighter of the year.
Incorrect.
I said Alex, by the way.
I think
Definitively on the
I
record.
didn't mean
if he
you guys
fights
in
win or
particular.
lose, he is still the male fighter of the year.
If he does that, yeah. I mean, it's just next level stuff. I just think they don't have an option. And the only one you can always call is Alex Pereira.
Money talks. Be a tough fight. He'd probably be a slight underdog in it, I think.
Even better.
Yeah, probably, especially on short notice against a guy like that.
Last time
So
I
let
saw
us
the odds.
see. I'm going to sit back, enjoy the rest of the show. I'm not here to rain on anyone's parade. Commiserations to the Yankees fans out there. My heart bleeds for you. Although
tough.
I will say I am happy for the Dodgers fans who are getting their celebration. They were robbed of that back in 2020. Huge win for our Knicks last night, South Beach. It's a great time
How
to
about
be
that
alive,
Karl
guys.
Anthony Towns,
it's a
baby?
great time. Yeah, 44. It's a great time to be alive. The Big Purr, the Big Bodega, whatever you want to
Bodega
call it. El Nariz, the greatest Canadian luchador of all time, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day. And happy
you.
Halloween.
Thank you,
Happy
Ariel.
Halloween, brother.
Bye.
Tell the kids happy Halloween as well. All right.
How about that? Nice little breaking news drop in.
Love it. Love it. So Belal Muhammad out. No plans of anything yet on the books. Trying to figure it out. I would imagine they're kind of scrambling a little bit.
They're scrambling, certainly. And when they've been in this position before, the call has gone to Alex. We'll see. I think Ariel's right in the perspective that, you know, if you're Alex, this is a big disadvantage for you, right? Magomed just fought. He's going to be ready. He's going to be in shape. We don't know what Alex has been training for or what, you know, kind of return timeline he's been targeting. But I also get the sense that he wants to prove that he's not scared. I don't think anybody thinks Alex Pereira is scared of anything, but I do think he wants to thwart the idea that like Magomed is a bad matchup for him and just show people, and this would be a great time to do it. I would actually be more inclined to believe that if this happened, it might be Magomed who's like, yeah, I'm not ready. Like I got a little more banged up than I thought. So we'll see if that call ever comes. Ultimately, I don't think you're in bad shape to have Ian Gary versus Shavkat Rakhmonov as an interim title fight atop that pay-per-view. I think that's a fine fight. Do I think an interim title needs to be made? No. But ultimately, what's the difference at this point? We've had Tom hanging around with an interim title this entire time. They're meaningless, in my opinion. They mean number one contendership.
It's a number one
so
contender
make it a
fight,
number
yeah.
one contender fight with an interim title.
Yeah. I guess, you know, you get the perks of being the interim champ, supposedly the pay-per-view points, and
Sure.
everything like that. That's why Shavkat would do it. Other than that, like, you cannot, there's no way Shavkat's going to accept if there's not at least the interim.
The
title
only
on
thing
line.
I'd say to that, and I was going to potentially mention this with Ariel on, but we pivoted. The UFC has not been known to, if you get the fight now, that does not mean you get the fight in the future. Meaning, if they say to Shavkat, we want you to fight Ian Gary, and he says no, that does not mean that he will get the next crack.
Okay.
It could mean he gets the next crack, but it does not guarantee that he gets the next crack. I don't know how well I'm not going to help this card plays out for people. And so I don't know if you have that type of choice if you're Shavkat. Maybe you do. Maybe your management team is able to arrange with the UFC, hey, we're going to start rebooking this. We're already going to look at the date. Let's get it in the books. But maybe not. And so I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out. It's fascinating. They are limited on options here.
Yeah, it is fascinating. I'm really hoping that Shavkat can stay on the card, though.
It'd be great.
'Cause I love watching him fight 18-0, 18 finishes. One of the best fighters in the world. Was really looking forward to him seeing get a shot at the title. But we'll have to wait for that. We'll have to wait. And then no truth to Lopez Volk in February. Kind of didn't believe that anyway. I was sort of curious on why Volk would take that, I guess, other than like just the itch. But it feels like he's pretty set on fighting Ilia Topuria in his next fight.
If you're Diego, throw it out there, but I didn't think Volk would ever take that.
I woke up to tweets this morning that was like signed, sealed, and delivered. Oh, I'm sure. Lastly, on this, after UFC 307, they released odds for Ankalaev versus Pereira. Ankalaev -140, Pereira +120.
There you go. And
I'll take that.
that might
bank. I'll take plus money on Poatan any day.
that might be even a little steeper considering what we just said about like Magomed being fresh and Alex being off. Again, we're just purely speculating
nothing
because
more
of
than
the
speculation.
idea of Alex always been in this position and saving the day. There's nothing happening there at the moment.
Double flyweight title night. Zhang Shev, Pantoja.
It's good, but
Asakura.
is it is it the one that sells that card?
For
Like,
sure not. I unless they get Pereira, it feels like this is going to be a.
You don't
sort
think
of under the radar.
Gary and Shavkat would do it?
Jeez. To the mainstream fans?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like if you're trading Ian Gary for Belal, I'd say that the star power is actually on Ian Gary's side.
I guess that is true. You make a good point. So, I guess the fact that Shavkat was, the favorite to get undisputed gold.
Yeah.
See a guy potentially be 19-0, 19 finishes, just an all-around killer. But we'll see. About a month and a half away. It's not even. It's like 5 weeks.
It's very close.
5 weeks from Saturday is the actual timeline. 5 weeks from Saturday. So they're going to try and figure that out, and we'll have our ear to the ground to see what happens.
The UFC before has gone, look, we're in the situation we're in. We're going to have the flyweight title headline it, and we just move on. This is the pay-per-view, and that
might
very
be what
well
they have
may
to
happen.
do.
Yeah.
That might be what they have to do.
Yeah.
But we shall see. This weekend, though, UFC returns to Canada, this time at Edmonton. I love seeing all the guys in the Oilers jerseys, everything like that.
Yeah.
Card headlined by Brandon Moreno and Amir Albazi. So let's start there.
Ariel's favorite card of the year, apparently.
Yeah, he loves it, man. I really think it's just Canadian bias.
Yeah.
I think he's just like, he sees all the flags with the maple leaf on it, and he's just like, this is an amazing card. It's an okay card. It's, you love seeing a fight night go on the road. You love having real fans, especially Canadian fans. I think they'll be hyped for it. And, you get to see former champs in Brandon Moreno and Rose Namajunas. So Brandon Moreno taking on Amir Albazi.
Yeah.
First time seeing Amir Albazi since June of last year. He got the split decision victory over Kai Kara-France. He's had some health
Controversial
issues.
one.
Yeah. I am a Kai Kara-France guy, so I'm a bit biased on this one, but I did have Kai Kara-France winning that. But he is undefeated in the UFC. He has been in title conversations a lot, but we haven't seen him in a year and a half. A lot of health issues this year. He was talking about he could have potentially gone paralyzed. He was one punch away from being paralyzed.
Yeah.
Was having issues with his neck and his spine. Scary stuff, but now he's saying he's cleared to fight. On the other side, Brandon Moreno, 2 straight split decision losses, last one being to Brandon Royval in Mexico earlier this year. So, with Pantoja fighting Kaya Sakura, I don't feel like this is a bona fide number one contender fight. Whoever wins gets the title shot, especially with Brandon Royval coming off the win against Tatsuro Taira. But it just feels like everybody in the division, other than Amir Albazi, and now they've added Kaya Sakura, has lost to Pantoja, if not multiple times. Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno have done that. Do you think Amir Albazi, despite his inactivity, locks up the winner of Asakura versus Pantoja if he wins this fight?
If Albazi wins, probably. It's harder because, Moreno is maybe not going to get the next shot. It might, unless this is a fascinating one. It's going to depend on how that fight plays out, how Moreno and Albazi plays out, and then how Pantoja and Asakura plays out. If you are Moreno, if you are Royval, you're rooting for Kai Asakura. You want him to win so that you have a clear path back there. If Asakura wins, I would imagine that Royval gets the next shot, right? Regardless of how Moreno and Albazi plays out, if Kai Asakura wins, I would imagine that Royval gets the next shot. If Pantoja wins, then I would assume that Albazi with a win would get the next shot. If Moreno and Asakura win, then I would still say, yeah, it will go to Royval. So it's really just going to depend on what happens in this fight and then what happens in the next one. But if you are Moreno or if you are Royval, you are rooting for Kai Asakura to upend Alexandre Pantoja's reign.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look back on Pantoja's schedule of late, Steve Erceg obviously was an interesting, he had to come in lower of the rankings because of how many wins Pantoja has over the top of the division. But Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno, Alex Perez, Brandon Royval again. He's got a win over, Matt Schnell's gone, but Brandon Moreno earlier in his career,
so he's beaten them both twice. So you have to be rooting for the new outcome.
And I actually think he beat him on tough.
That's right. It was the third one.
3 wins over Brandon Moreno. Shout out.
Very good.
And
Frank.
2 wins over Brandon Royval. So yeah, both those guys definitely cheering hard for Kai Sakura. And then if
I do think Albazi will get a title shot if Pantoja retains. I do.
Okay. All right.
Who else is there? It would be between Royval and him, and we have seen Royval. I've been on this corner. I will continue to be on this corner. If Royval and Pantoja are the 2 best in the division, I'd watch them 100 times. But I feel like I am in the minority. I do not feel like everybody is of that feeling, and so or has that position. And so I don't know if you can sell people on a Royval versus Pantoja fight again, and especially in this quick a succession. Albazi, new face, and it seems like that's the guy. I mean, we're already at the point where a newcomer to the UFC is getting a title shot. So we are slim on options here, and I think Albazi would be next in line.
Pantoja's he's just cleared out the top half of the division. Yeah, I mean, looking at the rankings, Pantoja's champ, and then Royval, Moreno, Albazi, Kai Kara France, Tatsuro Taira, but then you start getting into the contenders have lost to the contenders. Kai Kara France has lost to both Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno. Tatsuro Taira has lost to Brandon Royval now, but then both of them are 0-5 combined against the champ. So yeah, Kaya Sakura can really shake up this division, create a lot of new matchups with a victory. And Amir Albazi could do the same with getting a big win. Currently an underdog, minus 173, Brandon Moreno, plus 148, Amir Albazi. The fight itself, how do you feel like it plays out?
I think Albazi might have the tools to be able to get it done at a dog price. I think there's something interesting there. It really is just going to depend. Like, even in these split decision losses, like Moreno still kind of looks like the guy. If you're giving me a coin flip, I actually lean Albazi. I feel like he's probably the one who has the momentum at the moment. Now, granted, the time off doesn't help, but I do feel like he's on the rise, whereas Moreno has been champion and been in there for so long and fought all these tough guys. There is a certain point where there's an expiration on that. Something in me is just telling me that Albazi is going to be able to make it dirty and just grind a win out.
Yeah, I feel like the way Brandon Moreno gets this done is just like going back to classic Brandon Moreno, pushing the pace, mixing in takedowns, just using the striking beautifully. I mean, he's been in there with so many people, but he's kind of like the Max Holloway effect. He's been around for so long. He's still only 30 years old.
Yeah.
Like he's got a lot of tread left on the tires, but man, you don't want to lose 3 straight, and then you're really stacked up against it, because then you've got a loss to Pantoja multiple times, a loss to Royval, a loss to Amir Albazi. Now you're getting these new faces in Asakura and everything. Like, it really feels like you're getting very far away from ever getting back to that title shot. Do you think there's any chance with a loss Brandon Moreno would consider going up to 135?
Possibly. I mean, I still think he's viable at flyweight rather. But how many times can you try to climb that mountain? You know, and especially when you're seemingly one away, right? It seemed like if he was able to get past Royval, he'd be right there, and it seems like you're right on the doorstep. How many times can you continue to do that? We're seeing it again with Max Holloway. Like, maybe this might be the last time he tries that to do that at featherweight. It's a personal thing. It's he'll have to make that decision. Ultimately, though, I think there's fun fights for him at 135. I mean, we just saw Davis and Figueiredo go up to 135 and have tremendous success. That is a rivalry that started at flyweight. You could always kind of bring that back at 135.
What would that be, the 5th one?
That'd be 5th. Yeah.
Fifth?
No, 4th? 5th? I think they had 4 already. Yeah, it would be the 5th. And by the way,
they did 4. Davison, Kai, Davison.
All 4 are bangers. So like,
Bangers.
You give me 5, I'm all in.
Especially at 135.
And there's a fresh coat of paint on it. So yeah, I could see that, but I could also see him saying like, nah, I think I can get back there at 25. He's never going to be too far. Because the division is kind of shallow and lacking contenders, that's why we've seen this run back so many times. It's going to be up to him ultimately. I could see it though. I could definitely see it. I just wonder if you've done that, how many times you want to try to do that. At 35, you're getting a brand new look, and it won't take as long. You get 1 or 2 under your belt, like we're seeing with Davison. Now they're starting to say, how far is Davison from a title shot? So he could take that similar path.
Official prediction?
I think Albazi wins.
All right. I'm going to go Moreno.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame you.
For reasons that I'll get into later in the program when we do the betting segment. Let's go to the co-main event. Rose Namajunas, former champ herself, down at 115, taking on Erin Blanchfield, who was seemingly have this meteoric rise, just stopped dead in its track back in Atlantic City, a fight that we were at.
Yeah, we were there.
Against Manon Fiorot. Just didn't look herself and just kind of just didn't have it that night. It was sort of just like a pillar-to-post, ho-hum performance. Manon Fiorot gets it done. Rose has looked good, but she also has a loss against Manon Fiorot at 125. Blanchfield is now kind of a step away from the title. Who's going to be next for Valentina now that they've, settled their trilogy, her and Alexa Grasso? Your thoughts on this fight going into it and the repercussions that can come from it?
Yeah, this feels like somebody who would be right up there, right? I feel like Manon is above. Like, I feel like Manon is in that spot.
I think she needs to be next.
She needs to be next, in my opinion, and she has beaten both of these women. Like that is a clear thing that puts her above, but you would probably be the one under that. You would be the next in line to the next in line.
Rose did get an injury in that first round. I think she broke her hand or something in the Manon fight. So I'm sure she wants to run that back, get another shot at it. And, if Manon Fiorot was able to get the title from Valentina Shevchenko,
there's a story right there.
Terrible fight to make.
But that's what's on the line. Like you would be next behind next. You'd be the next. And I don't think a loss sets either back too far. I know that there was a lot of steam and momentum behind Erin Blanchfield, and also obviously Rose, who always has her fan base behind her. But the results at flyweight have kind of been a little mixed and up and down. She hasn't looked quite as ferocious as she had at strawweight. But I don't think they go too far back. Again, in fact, both the flyweight divisions remind me of each other, where it's just dying for some contenders to kind of emerge, and they're round robining and knocking each other off. This feels like a nice breaking point where whoever loses is not going to fall too far back, and whoever wins is going to get right into that queue. And it's a fascinating matchup too. It's old guard, new guard. It's a real, like, Rose has been champion at strawweight, not at flyweight. But it was a pillar of that division for a long time. And Erin is the one trying to make her name, and had a significant setback here against what ostensibly is the number one contender in Manon. But we're going to see, is it time for the old lion to get eaten, or is she going to turn her back? The y'all must have forgot moment.
Yeah, man, I'm fascinated to see too. Like, is Erin going to be able to get the takedowns? Because if she's not able to get the takedowns, I think Rose is going to have a lot of success.
Like we saw against Manon, she was not able to really control that.
Yeah. I'm going to go flip from main event. I actually think that the underdog gets it done here in Rose. So I guess I'm backing the former champs in this one. Neither of which are Canadian. No Canadians in the main or co-main event, unfortunately.
Yeah, you got to get further.
Fans there. But I'm going to go with Rose. I'm going to say that she can handle the takedowns and beat her up on the feet and get it done.
I think I'm going Blanchfield. So we're opposite sides on all this.
I love it. Yeah, I guess just watching the Blanchfield performance in person back in March, I was just like, man. But, people have off nights, and she's incredibly young. We talked about Brandon Moreno being young, 30 years old. Blanchfield is 25, I believe. Like, she has so much in front of her still.
That felt like an aberration, but it also was the highest level of competition she was facing. So I want to see what this one will be a real measuring stick for Erin Blanchfield, right? We will either see if she was good enough to get to this point, but not necessarily good enough to get to that level, and be where Manon is and where Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso are, or if that really was just like the off night of all off nights, because she did not look good there. That was a dominant performance.
It kind of reminded me of the Valentina Grasso fight. Like, it was kind of just like the third one. Like, it was kind of just like, what does Grasso have? Like, nothing. And it was just sort of one-way traffic for Valentina the entire way. So top two fights of the night are very solid. Very solid. Big names, intriguing matchups, title implications throughout both of those. Kind of falls off. Helwani was trying to, I think it's a little bit of the Canadian bias, who's like, card of the year. It's a solid card. You got Derek Lewis in the third fight of the night going up against Jonata Deniz. I feel like they just like the most random matchups for Derek Lewis. Rodrigo Nascimento, Gelton Almeida, Marcos Rogério de Lima was just like, why do we have to put him through this Brazilian circuit? Like, can we not just get like a fun heavyweight matchup for him? But it's always fun.
This one should be fun. They're going to strike. Yeah, they'll stand and bang.
I think so too. I mean, it's fun when you see Black Beast get in there. This guy's 8-0. He's undefeated. Black Beast is the A side. That's why I'm watching the fight.
Yeah, that is naturally how that will play out. Like, we are here to see Derek Lewis. But I think they're gonna stand and bang. So this one will be fun. What is the line on this one?
Right now, Derek Lewis is the underdog, plus 140. Jonata Deniz.
That doesn't surprise me, because Derek Lewis can be hit or miss in situations like this. Although, in a situation where guys are going to stand and strike with him, like, I feel like that's giving him his best chance. That's giving him a good opportunity. But who knows? Maybe we see some takedowns.
Can we talk about Mysterious Frank just coming in here to give you some water? And I was like, yeah, come on, man. You can just pop it on the desk. Just drops it right by the door. Appreciate that, man. Thanks so much, Mysterious Frank, everyone. Yeah, congratulations. Derek Lewis. Solid fight. I'm going to pick Derek Lewis. I'm just going to pick all the old heads today. Or like
I like it.
The old guard, I guess,
Yeah.
so to speak. But it's always fun to see him get in there. Kai Machado looks great. He looks to be in really good shape. Looks to really be taking this thing seriously, going up against Brenson Habero. Another fight that should be really fun. I mean, two big dudes at 205. Brenson Habero, a lot of finishes on his record. All of his wins, all 15 coming by way of finish. I think he's got like nine knockouts, 6 submissions. So, like, should be an exciting fight. Name value isn't really, like, off the charts for that one, but it is one that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think we saw this in the last Canadian card where it was like, you put enough Canadians on it, but you also put enough fights that you feel like, yeah, these will probably end in a favorable way for the crowd. The crowd just kind of, like, gets amped up, and then you get to the two top ones with the real kind of, like, divisional significance in them. It's decently constructed here, and I feel the same way you do.
And then you just get on a Canadian run.
That's when you start to hit the Canadians.
Top 4. So maybe here's the plan for the UFC Edmonton crowd. You get in, you immediately don't have a Canadian fight. You got Jack Shore and Yusuf Zalal, but then it's Canadian, a little Canadian break, and then Canadian. So Canadian. So, like, they'll get you hyped up for the final few fights of the card. You get some heavyweights in there, and then you get the main and the co-main. Marc-Andre Barriault taking on Dustin Stolfus. It's always cool to see Power Bar in there. Two unranked middleweights, but it should be an entertaining matchup nonetheless. Mike Malott taking on Trevin Giles. This one I actually am very intrigued to see what happens in, just because I want to see how Mike Malott bounces back from the Neil Magny performance. How much does that affect his head? He was kind of like this Canadian hope to be one of the great mixed martial artists from Canada. But to get finished like that is troublesome, and it can get in your head for sure. We heard him talk about it yesterday on the show.
Yeah, he was talking about the growth and the adjustments that he made in camp in order for this not to happen. And what I found interesting about what he said to Ariel was that he said a lot of people could look at that and go like, if I was able to have the gas tank for a little bit more time, they could justify not having to make a drastic overhaul, right? They could go, at the very end I faded, but that's not going to happen again. It was my worst moment. But he's not looking at it that way. He's looking at it as, I've got some holes, let's fix them. And I can appreciate the perspective, especially from somebody who it seemed like was a super prospect on the rise, and at least, to the Canadian fan base, like the next kind of GSP, Rory McDonald, the guy who could represent them on this major stage in that way. And so I can appreciate where he's coming from in terms of trying to really make sure that does not happen again from a holistic perspective, and not just like, that was a one-time thing. He's going back to the drawing board, or at least what he has told Ariel is he's going back to the drawing board and really assessing what he can do better to be a complete martial artist. And it will be interesting to see if he's able to. I imagine he's a pretty sizable favorite here. But it will be interesting to see how those holes look. I'm not sure, frankly, I'm not sure that Trevin Giles is the guy who's going to be able to test if that is the case, right? I'm not sure that Trevin Giles is the guy who's going to be able to see if he has the same holes that he had against Neil Magny. But ultimately, like we will hope to see a return to form for Mike Malott if he is truly the prospect that many have believed he could be.
Yeah, hey, Rick, there's some water for you.
Thanks, man. We already addressed that. We really appreciate that. I mean, you could have come in the way.
Did I look parched? Was there a reason?
Your mouth just sounds, for lack of a better way of describing this, disgusting.
Okay,
you go grab.
I'm gonna go
grab the water. Yeah, the way Frank walked in, we wouldn't have seen you on camera. You could have just sat on the desk, make things easy. Instead,
Rick just walks right in front of the camera.
Instead, Rick now has to walk in front of the camera instead of you, but much appreciated. Yeah, Mike Malott, I hope he can get back on track. I hope he can do that in front of the Canadian crowd and sort of get his confidence and his swagger back and get back on track. Jasmine Jasdovicius.
Oh, by the way, Frank, shout out to you for putting it directly in the path of camera one.
How about you just bring your own damn water?
Could have done it to the other side. You might have put it in the worst place possible.
Maybe that's where I was told to put it.
Also,
maybe the steak burrito wasn't such a solid choice.
Mike Malott's teammate Jasmine
Jasdovicius.
There it is. Let's go. We're 1 for 2 on those. She also fights Niagara.
He was on mic and still got it. I mean, that
was good.
Pretty impressive.
First time though, I said Jasmine, and he didn't hit it. Ariane Lipsky, I like that for her. I like for her to keep it going. Get the Canadian crowd in it. Just gonna predict her to win.
Yeah, we're just rooting for Jasmine, so we can play that drop.
And then Ariel Helwani's a hobby fighting against Pedro Munoz, a favorite after taking Javid Basharat's O earlier this year. Now he gets a very tough out in Pedro Munoz, and he is a favorite in the fight. He opened as a dog. He's not like a minus 135.
After that performance against Basharat, I understand why.
4-fight win streak as I just bang the mic as I lift my hand up. 4-fight win streak for the man. And we try to see Ariel Helwani go for a 5th straight win.
I like that edit. You shared that edit.
Yeah, someone out there, I don't know who it was, made an edit of like Ayman Zahabi and Ariel are the same exact person. It was fantastic. Opening an investigation. Charles Jourdain, Victor Henry. Victor Henry came on the scene like 2.5 years ago with a huge win over Heoni Barcelos, making his debut. Some ups and downs, no contest, the loss, wins and losses. But I love seeing him get in there.
Fun fighter, yeah.
Very fun fighter. Had like 26 professional fights before he made his UFC debut, and now has become a bit of a mainstay. I mean, this will be his 6th UFC fight, so good to see him. Alexander Romanov, once undefeated, now has come on struggles of late, just 1-3 in his last 4, taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. And then you got Suri Sidi versus Garrett Armfield. Garrett Armfield, every time I see him on social, it's the picture he took comparing the old glove and the new glove. That feels like every time I see him.
He was one of the first with that.
Yeah, he was one of the first to do it. Cody Gibson, former tough contestant, taking on Chad and Hellinger. Jamie Lynn Horth, the Canadian, taking on Ivana Petrovic. And then our guy Jack Shore taking on Yusuf Zalal, who has been red hot of late. And that kind of brings us to our next guest. The one, the only, the man in the Emerald Isle, Petesy Carroll, who did a great interview with Jack Shore that I actually hadn't heard, so I can't say if it's great or not. But there he is. Petesy, welcome to the Boys in the Back, man. You finally made your debut. It took 3 invites to get you here, but you are finally here.
We were begging him, and he just couldn't make the time.
It's tough.
It was ridiculous what happened to me. I was Matt Damon on this show twice already. If you don't get the reference, Jimmy Kimmel constantly used to have Matt Damon in the green room, and just before he was about to bring him on, he said, "Oh, we've just run out of time." Twice that's happened to me. But the worst part, as I said yesterday, was me having to pursue finding out getting bumped. That was the worst part, Rick. I'm forgiving you. Great to be on with GC. A pleasure as always, GC. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. The only disappointment out of all of this is that I'm in a costume. Rick's in a costume. Helwani broke some news, broke down everything that's been going on this morning in a costume, and then here you are in your Thin Lizzy hat. What are you going as you're masquerading as a Thin Lizzy fan?
Well, I'm the biggest Thin Lizzy fan probably anyone's ever met. I played Phil Lynnett's bass guitar once as well. I knew his mother before she passed away. Thank you very much. But I came as an alcoholic. This is my costume.
Okay, are trick-or-treaters coming through? Because it is 5:53 over there in Ireland
There's
right now.
There's fireworks going off all over the place. Like this
you guys
place.
Do fireworks?
Mate,
you didn't hear they invented it.
Is it like Halloween. July 4th over there? You guys barbecue and grill?
The kids around here, like, they'll collect firewood for the last month and they'll just set up fires all over the place. And it gets crazy. Me and Elaine will probably pop out to see the fires at about midnight.
That's called a riot.
So the fires are an attraction?
Yo. When we were younger, we used to have fist fights over firewood. Like, we'd be collecting firewood and another road would be collecting firewood, and we just beat the shit out of each other and steal each other's wood. It was a great time. It was a beautiful,
as you go
romantic
further
time.
west, on the planet, you get more and more like modern. What you're describing is prehistoric times, people fighting over firewood.
Are you going to stand for this, PT? I don't like the tone.
You just called the whole Irish country.
It's getting more and more. And to be fair, Ireland is to the west of England. So
this is very it's not just a Blanchardstown thing. Like it's just, let's just say the working class areas that generally has the firewood wars. I think they've toned it down. Like, these kids are soft now. The bonfires are pathetic. Like, there wouldn't even be like 2 of me, and I'm not even tall. So I mean, it's pathetic. We used to have them like fucking like a skyscraper. It was great.
It is called the Firewood Wars, right? That's official.
No, I don't think it's been like publicized or anything, but anyone from around my way would be able to tell you this happened.
I love how you take the old man status of just like, we used to do it so much bigger, so much better back
They're
in my
soft.
day.
Back when firewood started.
What happened to a point of Guinness on a fist fight, as a great man once said? You know what I mean?
It's a great Saturday night. That's a great Halloween night.
I want to backtrack for a second, though. You said,
okay.
I want to just understand. I want to confirm what you said here. You said, you forgive. You were saying that to Conner or to me? Who was
I
off the
think we
hook?
should just move on. I think we should just move on from that.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
All right, let's move on to UFC Edmonton. You had an interview with the Shore family on this week, leading up to Jack Shore, Yusuf Zalal. What can you tell us, man? How are you feeling? Are we going to get a P-Dow here? I mean, last time it was one Paul Hughes. You interviewed him, and then he pulls off the upset victory over AJ McKee. Is Jack Shore the P-Dow?
And you can see that interview tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern on the Craic, on this YouTube channel.
Now, was it with Jack or was it with Shaky?
Both.
All right, so I nailed it on the Shore family.
They both joined me.
That's what you get here.
If anyone doesn't know Shaky's story, like he's basically the pioneer of MMA in Wales. He got a cancer diagnosis in May 2022. Like this is a guy that's been in charge of every single one of Jack's camps. He was going through chemotherapy and radiotherapy when Jack was preparing for the Amir Khani fight, which was his featherweight debut. Went in, and if you remember, Shaky actually calls the sequence that Jack hits him with, which basically leads to the finish of the fight. Jack then tells the world about the struggles that Shaky's been going through. Amazing fight, one of the most emotional moments in UK MMA history, I'd say. But Shaky, as of July, has been in remission, which is great news. And now this is their third fight at featherweight. You'll remember the Brito fight in Rio, the first fight of all time to be stopped because of a cut to the leg. I think absolutely unbelievable. Shaky had to be restrained. He gets into that in the interview. Fantastic stuff. But honestly, I'm surprised, and this is no disrespect to Yusuf Zalal because he's a beast. He had to battle his way back to the UFC, and he's got 2 rear naked choke finishes back to back. But I'm surprised that, given his pedigree, Jack Shore is going in here as the dog. We're talking about a champion since his teenage years, a guy who took over Nathaniel Wood's mantle as the bantamweight champion for Cage Warriors, became one of the hottest tickets in Cardiff. I went to see him fight in Cardiff back in those days. Even back then, he was struggling to make 135. I'm surprised he made it all the way through to that Ricky Simone fight. But this guy has been bred to be a champion. He has been a champion his whole life. I think it's funny that after the Amir Khani fight, his featherweight debut, everybody was like, oh my God, he should have moved up here ages ago. And then the Brito fight happens, a weird stoppage, as we know. Not to say that Brito wasn't winning the fight, he was. His leg kicks were lethal. But immediately after that fight, everybody's saying, oh, Jack needs to move back to bantamweight. I think that's a ridiculous call to make. I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. Both excellent at rear naked chokes. We've seen Zalal finish both of his last opponents with rear naked chokes. Jack's had, I think, 8 rear naked choke finishes in his career. So I think it's an absolute banger. Am I right in thinking that's the curtain jerker for this card?
Curtain jerker, and you said Jack Shore coming in as an underdog, not just an underdog, man, a sizable one at that. Yusuf Zalal minus 316, Jack Shore plus 266 right now.
That's Paul Hughes territory right there, isn't it?
I don't know. Paul Hughes was only like a plus 150. This is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
This is.
Are you calling it now?
Is this the P-Dow?
Shore the play?
Dog of the week.
We've got to change that name, honestly.
You know what? Breaking news here. Jack Shore is the biggest underdog on the entire card. Oh,
whoa! What happened there?
I didn't realize you were talking.
No, you can hit it, man. Jack Shore, biggest underdog on the card, plus 266.
Petesy right though. Let's not call it the P-Dow anymore.
The Petesy dog of the week, the C-Dow? The Carroll dog of the week?
The Craic dog of the week. Craic dog.
Yeah, Craic dog. This is better.
Yeah, anything better than P-Dog. Okay?
Yeah, you're right.
P-Dow.
We need a departure from that immediately. But yeah, I'm actually really surprised by that. And that, like, Yusuf Zalal's very good. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know. I think people are sleeping on Jack Shore.
All right, so we're locking it in.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Since the Craic went to video, we've had 2 guests so far. Paul Hughes, Lerone Murphy.
Whoa.
Jack's been on the Craic. We know what's happening. We know what's happening.
Whoa.
All right, so this is you're the inverse. Instead of the Craic curse, this is the blessing of the Craic.
That's exactly what it is. The sunshine. It is I don't know, man. I'm surprised to hear this underdog stuff.
I'm betting Jack Shore right now. He talks me into it.
But do you not think that's insane? Like,
well,
Jack Shore was on top of the world.
Here's where I can see
a bantamweight title fight.
Here's where I can see it coming from, right? In terms of ways to win, right? In terms of being dynamic, I think Yusuf Zalal has more ways. Jack Shore, we know what he's going to want to do, right? We know what the game plan is going to be, and so I think when you when you are preparing for somebody with a style like that, you can focus in on it. And I think there's a bit of maybe a respect for Youssef Zalal to be able to thwart that. Ultimately, though, the line feels off, right? I would think it would be closer to even. Again, Youssef Zalal looks very good as of late, but we've seen him in the UFC. Like, it was not a tremendously successful run the first time. I think he would admit that he wasn't as well prepared, but I kind of get it from, like, I think Youssef has more tools, if I'm being honest.
Well, when you say you know which way Jack Shore is going to want this to go, what do you think?
I think he's going to want to keep it close and try and get him down and stifle Youssef's game, like anti-offense, basically.
Yeah, I suppose. He did, like, we're sleeping on his performance against Timur Valiev. He jabbed the face off Timur Valiev.
He looked great.
A guy people were saying, this guy's going straight to the top of the bantamweight division.
It's fair.
Shore absolutely schooled him. Simone kind of, he was on an incredible run when he fought Jack. He's a great submission artist. And honestly, like, you can't have a complaint about that fight. He did great. He dominated the fight. There's nothing you can say to that. Brito is a beast, first of all. I mean, there's not a lot of featherweights you're going to put in against Brito and be like, oh, I'm confident he's going to beat this guy. And to be fair to Jack, a cut leg stopped that fight. And I remember talking to a lot of coaches and fighters afterwards, because there was this kind of talk online. Obviously, the UK and Ireland were all very upset about the stoppage, the way it went down. And then on the other side, there were people like, oh, well, Brito was clearly going to win. But when I was talking to fighters and coaches, they were like, the only way you can fight Brito is not meet him in the middle. Like, you have to hope that you can hang around for 2 rounds and then take it to him in the third, because the guy's just a fucking bull in a china shop for 10 minutes. Like, he is going to absolutely wreck the place and wreck you with it, unless you can kind of absorb all this and then take it to him late, because we know he's such a muscular dude. We know these guys wear later on in fights, and that had to be Shore's plan. They began to like, the weirdest thing about that stoppage is it's a wrestling exchange when they stop it. Like, fair enough, Brito's kicking the shit out of his legs in that first round. He starts off the second round the same way. Then it's a lot of up against the fence. The cut is bleeding from his shin. And then the doctor comes in and he starts fingering the wound. And then he's like, it's over. Jack went to the hospital and they gave him 3 stitches, and that was the end of it. It made absolutely no sense.
It was one of those that looked bad on camera, but then when we found out what actually the net result was like, yeah, that fight could have continued, clearly.
It's a banger of a fight, though. I'm surprised it's so early on. Maybe it's because neither guy is from Canada, but I think that's a really great fight. Like, I really think that's going to deliver.
Me too. I thought it was one that was falling under the radar when I was looking over the card last week. At one point, I was just like, oh, wow, Jack Shore, Youssef Zalal is kicking this thing off. And then I looked at the odds, and I do agree with you, Petesy. When I first looked at him, I was like, wow, I'm surprised Jack Shore is this big of a dog. And it just continues to climb. Everyone's throwing Youssef in their parlays. He has looked great since he returned to the UFC, 2 wins. But when you come on the Craic, you get the blessing of the man PC, and you become the official PDOW, Pizza Dog of the Week.
That's going to start being the appeal.
Craic guests are 2-0. Paul Hughes and Lerone Murphy both won their last fights. So, I just plugged in a Jack Shore bet. All my bets this week are vibes, so this goes right along with it.
Boys, can I just say, the outfits are absolutely unbelievable. I should have opened with that. It's amazing stuff. Ariel called it in. He literally, I've been in that office. Those masks are just beside his desk. Like that, if you're going to call that a costume,
it's something, man.
That's giving away too much credit.
It's real talk for a second.
Like a flag.
I think Ariel wears those masks all the time. Like, when he goes on Zoom, he actually takes them off. And then today he was like, you know what? I think I could show them who I really am today.
He's like Rey Mysterio. You can't give it away. He's at the grocery store with the mask.
The principal from Billy Madison, when they go over to his house and he opens the door and he's still wearing the mask. You don't know this reference, do you?
He's Captain Insano.
Oh, Billy Madison reference? We never get those on the show.
Who, me?
All right, Petesy, before we let you go, man, we wanted to introduce the Petesy Carroll Fantasy Football Minute.
Yes.
Our team,
important.
Uncrowned, the Ariel Helwani show, we're representing. I am people have said co-manager. I would rather go with assistant manager. You are the lead dog. There's many times where you've sent me several text messages in a row. I've been busy. I haven't gotten back to you. I'm just going to my text right now. Between you and me, I'm actually sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight texts from you that I didn't respond to, and it's all just fantasy football related. So I do apologize for that. I haven't been stepping in on my duties, but we're coming off our biggest win of the year, 139 points, 5-3.
Thank you.
it was unbelievable managing by you. How do we feel going into this week?
Well, look, last week it was a crisis, and I had to get rid of a player so we could put the great Puka Nacua, who I found out very late would be starting the game. I had to put him back in, and I was like, I better get the green light from GC here. Sent one message, nothing back. The deadline is closing in. This is a game time decision. Another message, nothing back. I then start telling Elaine, who was going to bed, I'm like, listen, man, he's not getting back to me. And she's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I was like, listen, can you tell me who should I get rid of? Should it be Alec Pierce? Should it be Josh Palmer? In the end, we went with Palmer. We had just signed, again, my idea, if you don't mind me saying, Tank Bigsby the week before. He's come through brilliant. I mean, it was really a poetic move. We were down to the last night of football. We should have lost, and once again, my fantastic management has pulled us through. We have a fairly
wait. Before
routine...
we move on, are you saying Elaine made the call and she is who is responsible for our victory?
No, she is. She hates NFL. She hates that I watch it. She hates that I stay up at 4 a.m. watching it 3 times a week. But look,
the fact that you stay up till 4 a.m. to watch NFL football is insane.
I cannot wait to watch the Jets and the Texans tonight. Absolutely buzzing for that.
Sicko,
but
yeah, my last text from you is Pierce or Palmer. I'm looking at it right now.
And no answer.
I still haven't responded. No. A lot of texts with no answer. But yeah, it all came down. You know what? This is just trial by fire. We're making you the best manager that you can possibly be. I can't hold your hand through the whole thing.
Well, we're 4th in the league now of 10. We're taking on 9 seeds this week, so we should absolutely pummel them. But I think we're going to win this fucking league. All right?
Let's go.
That's what I'm saying here right now. I'm winning this thing. I don't know how it works. You know, GC's giving me the odd message about playoffs, something or other. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, we do have playoffs.
I am going to win this league for the Ariel Helwani show. I'm going to win it, and it's going to be one of the greatest ever debut seasons in fantasy football.
We'll have that trophy right on your bookshelf, right over your shoulder.
With the flashlights?
Yeah, with the flashlights.
These callbacks are getting real dicey.
Yeah, very dicey. P-Dow, flashlights. Let's just move on. PT, thanks so much for joining the show, man. I wish you could have dressed up and everything like that.
Wait, but have you always had dark side?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kicking you out here. Rick still had something to say.
That's a new one.
Yeah, that's a new one. You guys aren't even paying respect. He's showing some Pink Floyd love.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
What's your favorite song on Dark Side of the Moon, Frank?
Dark Side of the Moon, my favorite song.
Y'all love Dark Side of the Moon. Rick loves Wizard of Oz.
Match made in heaven. Pair that up.
Yeah, we know what we're doing tonight.
Match made in heaven. Shrooms?
Look.
Wow.
Sure, let's do it.
Hey, I'm going to Chase and Status tonight. PT, do you want me to say anything to solve for you?
Is it really tonight?
It's really tonight, yeah.
And you guys are all going?
We all got invited. I've got to go. I'm going to Mexico, so I won't be there.
It is a very kind invitation.
Is it suspicious that Connor's going to Mexico right before a U.S. election? I think we should look into this.
You're going, Frank, right?
I'm
Frank's
absolutely going. I will FaceTime you at
Savage.
It'll be 1 a.m. Eastern, so what, like 6 a.m. your
He'll
time?
be up watching Texans Jets.
I'll ask how the hell the game's going.
But shout out to Saul.
Can you hear my dog? The trick-or-treaters are here. You can hear that. Woof, woof, woof. That's Reggie.
Oh, let's go. Go get him. Go get him, man.
Get him on camera.
I'm not getting them on camera. They're children. Jesus. Listen, tune into the Craic tomorrow.
Tune into the Craic, 1 o'clock tomorrow.
50th anniversary of Rumble in the Jungle.
50th anniversary of Rumble in the Jungle.
Wait, so who's on?
Jack Shaw and Richard Shaw.
Who?
Chuck Mendenhall, and then Jack Shaw and Richard Shaw. Absolutely fantastic.
All right, let's go. Let's make it 3 in a row for Craic interviews. That's the Craic blessing. Boys. All right, Petesy.
Lots of love.
Bye, Petesy.
All right, we did it. Petesy finally on the program.
I think we just needed that energy. You know, we were kind of missing the Petesy energy.
I love it.
I'm glad we finally got it. A little bit of a fumble by me. You know, we had to cut him for time, and I didn't necessarily close the loop on that by letting him know. And
it's all right.
It's on me.
We live and we learn, and we're on.
We win or learn.
We're on to as Petesy says, we win or we learn, and we're on to UFC Edmonton this weekend. And speaking of winning. The Parlay Pals won last week.
Big dub.
Plus 292, 4 for 4, 4 up, 4 down. We're going to try and go back to it. And I think
we're already got this one in the bag.
I think the win really just hyped up. It got one Juliana Pena back in the mood.
Let's go.
I mean, she wins championships. She's used to winning. She doesn't want to do anything unless she wins. She hit me up this week on Tuesday.
Whoa.
Not just with her pick, but also with a please and cha-cha-cha-cha-ching for hitting last week, and let's keep it going. Fire emoji, fire emoji.
Wow.
So she's hyped up. She's hyped up. Her
love
pick
it.
this week, we'll kick it off. Over 2.5 in the Pedro Munoz, Yusuf Zalal fight. Or not Yusuf Zalal, Ayman Zahabi fight. We were just talking Yusuf Zalal. I like that one. Pedro Munoz, known for going long.
Yeah,
Ayman
tends to
Zahabi,
be indecision.
not really
Over
the
2.5, you said, right?
the biggest finish.
Yep.
Yes, over 2.5 in that one. And then let's throw to the randomizer to get the last 3 picks.
Is it me or since we moved, the randomizer seems like better? It's improved. It's actually like
Things
improved
cranking
in
out.
quality.
I'll actually go first.
I've never seen nothing like it. This guy is a fucking genius, yeah?
That's a long bite.
I
have to
gotta
say,
be. That's a long bite, and like the bathroom isn't doing any favors.
I kind of feel like we just need that guy's a fucking genius.
Executive producer Ariel has requested.
What the fuck is that? I've never seen nothing like it. This guy is a fucking
Quite
genius,
long.
yeah?
I feel like we could split them into 2. What the fuck is that? And this guy's a genius, yeah?
The audio quality is just. Who's going first in the randomizer?
I will go first. Frank will go second. Rick, you'll go third.
Good.
And I'm going to make this one easy. Easy, breezy. Mike Malott,
There we go.
top team. Niagara top team. Bounce back. Canadian crowd. Vibes. High. That's the pick. Frank.
Wait, before we move on. So Malott, we had this week and we're picking him. Did we have anybody last week that was in our parlay? I forget what our parlay was.
I know. I can't even remember
How
it.
could you forget?
Do you remember, Frank? Can you
No,
rattle
it
it
was
off?
Abis. It was Hamzat.
I had Hamza. Yeah.
It was
There was one more money line.
it was the over in the
No, you
Ige
didn't.
fight.
Ige? It was over. Yeah.
We didn't have any of that.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I
don't
thought
need
maybe we were starting a crack streak. I just wanted to check
the
before we
crack
got
one.
too
All right,
far.
Frankie, you are up. I'm going with Mike Malott minus
You going
285.
Malott? I'm going
Looking good today, Frank.
Jasmine Jazdavicius.
Oh,
Jazz Divisius.
Is it? Yeah. Shout out to that. Is it darker in there today? It
yeah,
looks
because you don't have your little spotlights on.
okay, nice.
Hey, look,
I
it's
thought
my
it was like
hand.
spooky for Halloween.
My
There
hand.
he is. There he is.
Roll.
Frank, you just showed off an identifying tattoo. Don't do that.
No,
Yeah, I feel like,
it changes
uh,
every day.
I feel like I take this home and drink out of it this weekend. Jasmine Jazdavicius.
Toast.
Mug. Shout out. Toast to Jasmine. All right, that's 2 in the books. Frank, Rick, finish us off.
Just me. I'm going to take the over 2.5 in the Rose Namajunas and Erin Blanchfield fight.
All right,
Over 2.5.
that'll
I
do
like
it. Minus 650 on that one, by the way. Look at that.
Look how
Look
quick
at
Jordan is with this.
Look at Jordan.
Damn,
Look
how
at
do you do it
Jordan
so
go.
fast?
Parlay Pals draft plus 170 this week, plus 290 or plus 2.92 units, 1-0, undefeated in the new era. Shout out Juliana Pena going, Pedro Munoz, Ayman Zahabi over 2.5, Rick going, Rose Namajunas, Erin Blanchfield over 2.5 minus 650. I'm going Mike Malott moneyline minus 285, and big mysterious Frank is going Jasmine Jazdavicius moneyline minus 230. That gets us to plus 170. And we try to go back to back in the.
We don't try. We're gonna.
There's no. What is this try thing? I don't.
That's the champ right
That's
there.
not Stone Cold.
Oh my
talking,
God!
man.
Look at
That's-
the muscles on this guy.
You juicing that?
All right. My bets.
Yes.
I mentioned earlier in the program that we are going all vibes, and I'll tell you why. Let's kick it off with my first bet of the weekend. First up is the man, the myth, the legend. Just waiting on the graphic to pop up here. It is one Ayman Zahabi, the man that looks just like Ariel Helwani. You got to support your brothers in arms. So I will be going with Ayman Zahabi. I actually think this is a pretty tough matchup against Pedro Munoz, but you got to support. It's just that easy. On to the main event. I am taking Brandon Moreno. Not because I think this is a great matchup for him, but I will be in Mexico this weekend. I'm going to one of my friends' weddings, all-inclusive resort. Shout out, I'll be sipping Mai Tais poolside, watching Brandon Moreno get a victory, supporting the hometown kid as I will be in Mexico. I can't go to Mexico and not support Brandon Moreno in a main event. And then a parlay Niagara top team.
I love it.
Just a half of our Parlay Pals draft. Jasmine Jazdavicius, Mike Malott, Niagara top team parlay, plus 101.
Love that. Even money for that.
And then a nice little pacifist parlay, just to really bring it home. Just a chalk donkey express, 5 legs plus 100. That's plus EV if I've ever heard of it. All over 1.5s. Horth Petrovic, Lipsky Jazdavicius, Zahabi Munoz, Blanchfield Rose, and Moreno Albazi, all over 1.5. 5 legs plus 100. If that doesn't tell you sharp gambler, I don't know what does. And those are the bets. 4 picks. UFC Edmonton.
Love it.
Can't wait. You eating some poutine on Saturday, Frankie?
Oh, nice. Yeah, you think Derek Lewis is gonna eat any poutine?
No, he's asking if you are, Frank.
Oh, I thought you said he was eating.
I
Something.
think
He's
Derek
going to be
Lewis
in
said
Mexico.
it
I don't think he's
another
going to
way.
be eating poutine.
Definitely not eating poutine this weekend.
I don't have any plans to eat poutine on Saturday.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Poutine's a lot. Poutine's heavy.
I'm a fan, but yeah, it's not like one I run to.
I really liked the poutine at the Canuck.
Mm.
And then
Shout
after
out.
executive producer Ariel Helwani was like, "This is not good poutine." I'm shocked. I don't know what to do anymore. I even got poutine in Toronto that apparently wasn't good enough.
I don't think he said it wasn't good. I think what he said was it wasn't like the real. It wasn't the like authentic. I think it was good, but it just wasn't. It wasn't the one that
It wasn't
he
made
was.
with
Yeah, it wasn't made with
Montreal water.
the
Like, I don't know.
special.
Yeah, it's
the
hard to
special-
trust those guys sometimes, because I'm tasting it and I'm like, this is delicious, but then the local guy is always like, nah, it's not that good.
Yeah.
I feel like you could ship in poutine directly from Montreal
And
and,
they'll be
give
like,
it to him, and he'd
"Nah."
be like, this isn't it. No, it is it. It actually is it.
Surprise! It's it.
Shout out though. Speaking of food, we got another pound for pound ranking
so
that
excited
we're going to
about
be
this.
doing, and I think it's about to get contentious in here, folks.
Can I just say the top? Like I picked the perfect cow.
It looks amazing.
It is so good.
I can't get over how good we look. I mean, can we just like?
Actually, we got our first super chat of the day. I feel like now's the appropriate time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hit it.
There's a person named Achilles who
Oh,
has asked,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Hey Rick, why didn't you bother wearing a costume today? Question mark.
Good one, Achilles Jr. Good one.
Do we know who that is?
Yeah, he's a long time super chatter. Funny.
Oh, those fighting words.
Yeah.
No, shout out to you, Achilles Jr. I respect the hustle as always, and hope something bad happens to you.
Yeah.
There we
On
go.
this
You heard
Halloween,
it here
we're wishing
first.
ill will on our audience. Let's go, Rick. Let's go.
But yeah, everyone who's watching the show right now, we really appreciate your support. Throw some more super chats in there. We'd
Except
love
you,
to answer
Achilles
them.
Jr. But yes, super chat now. We'd love to answer your questions.
Man, I can't get over how good we look. I'm seeing some full screens of me. I'm just looking. I'm looking top notch. I'm looking A1. Guns are looking on point. But the reason we're wearing these is because it is Halloween. You can tell by the decorations, the special bug, the special in monitor. We got the tombstones. No big deal. I mean, we kind of do it big around here. But it is Halloween. And obviously, on Halloween, you go trick-or-treating. When you go trick-or-treating, you're going to get candy. And when you get home, you dump it all on the floor and you eat it all up. But there's good candy and there's bad candy.
Gotta respect the menu.
There's candy that gets...
No, the menu thing is
Shut up!
you're
with the
a
menu,
nut job.
man. You're a wild man.
You gotta have the
I can't
menu.
wait to hear this.
I don't know
this
what the menu. I still don't even know what the menu. No, don't
briefly.
explain it. No, do not
I
explain
don't want it.
Nobody wants to know what.
When I
this
was
menu
11
thing
years
is.
old, I ripped into my favorite candy, and that was it. So what we're doing here for the pound for pound rankings this week. Last week we did Halloween movies. This week we will be doing Halloween candy pound for pound that you get most excited when you see it drop out of your bag. When you see someone come to the door and they're like, "Oh, great costume!" It's like, "Shut up, lady! Just give me the damn candy." And when she plops one of those in your bag, you're just like, "Let's go!" Sorry
I
for being
judge
so rude.
if you don't have good candy that you're giving out.
Yes.
That,
Oh
that is
my
like
God.
that. I'm the kid who used to like know the houses.
Oh,
Like
for
I'd be
sure.
like, oh, that was no. Last year they gave the off-brand candy. We're going to this house. This is the way to
So
the.
you profiled.
Yeah, hell yeah, we profile.
No, it's not profiling.
No, it's
they,
profiling.
No, they gave me the data already. They gave me exactly what candy that they're giving out. I know from now on. Now I just need to go to the different one.
Interesting.
It's about to get. I could have gone 10 deep on this easy. I think it's about to get hot and heavy.
I can't go 10 because I feel like it falls off after 5.
All right.
Truly.
Then Rick, you take the honors. You kick us off. Your top 5 pound for pound rankings of Halloween candy.
This
Quick reminder: we start at 5.
we're
we
gonna
go
start
to
at 5.
1.
Frank, don't try to produce.
Look at that
let,
skull.
let,
Oh,
let
no,
on air
last
Jordan.
week.
Let
Look at
on
that-
air Jordan.
Look
do
at that skull for Halloween. Could have done orange instead of
very
red,
good.
but production. The budget's tight.
The let's say the design is looking
Couldn't
fantastic.
afford the orange, but it is what it is.
Starting with last week's list, the Halloween movies, I felt good about it. Like I felt like I had a really good list. I mean, the people who responded
Twitter did.
obviously felt like mine was the best as well. This one I feel like is unassailable. If your list or Frank's list differs from my list, you need to explain yourselves because
wanna
this
hear
is
it.
the definitive list.
Okay, here we go.
Number 5, we're going with Sour Patch. Auto, easy.
Wow.
Love it. No
Pick.
argument
Good
for me.
pick.
There
Okay.
it is. Sour Patch Kids. Favorite color of Sour Patch Kids?
That's a good one. I kind of love them all. Like I
love
have
the
to
blue.
admit,
Blue is
I've-
solid.
blue
I've
is a
always
Connor
been a
and I,
sucker
blue
for blue.
team.
Blue is good.
Team Delta Blue Team. Yeah.
I'm kind of boring. I go like on most fruity candy, red, if it's cherry or strawberry, is gonna be like my one. So I'll go there. But I will say blue as a new entrant is quite good.
Are you a one by oneer or are you a dump it all and shove it in the mouth?
I'm a one by oneer.
Okay,
I don't like as we talked about with like sandwiches, salads. I don't like mixing too many flavors. I want to taste each individual piece, so I'm tasting one at a time. Sour Patch. If this is not on somebody's list, we're gonna have to have a conversation. I believe I had Twix next. I'm actually doing this from
Twix all timer.
If you the perfect mixture of the caramel, the nougat, and the chocolate together, like just
the crunch,
the texture is perfect. The ridges on the top of the chocolate is perfect. This is a nearly perfect piece of candy, but there are actually pieces of candy that I have above this, so you will see the piece of candy
from the top down.
End to end?
Yeah, do you stick it like profile, eat it, like
you're saying you would eat like the top layer and then
this is based on your I don't like to have mixed things. Like I've been known to eat
don't
the
get
caramel,
crazy. Don't get
nougat,
crazy now.
Then the cookie.
No, we're eating it like a normal person, and all I mean.
Says the man dressed up as a cow.
I'm dressed as Mudang. Number 3, we're going Twizzler. Now this is important.
Twizzler at 3.
Hold.
This is a shocker.
Hold.
All right, now
I had no expectations for this. This comes out of nowhere. Twizzler.
There's an important distinction here. On Air Jordan had to shorten it for graphics, but here's the important distinction.
I think I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
Must be that individually wrapped the plastic. Meaning,
fuck the planet, right?
when you get the Twizzlers in the pack, the just what is it? 10 individual Twizzlers, and they're in the pack. They're hard. They're very hard.
Yes.
They don't have the right consistency. I still like them. And licorice is great. Not black licorice. If you eat that, you're a horrible person. The licorice is great, but the individually wrapped ones in the single serve plastic.
Now, are we talking like the strawberry ones or just the classic red ropes?
No, see there's the
red
pack.
vines.
When you open the pack that has the 10 individual pieces, like the full size you'd find at the supermarket or the drugstore, there's 10 in there, but they're very stiff. They're very hard. The ones that come out around Halloween time, the ones that are individually wrapped that they give out, they're very soft. The perfect chewiness.
Twizzler?
They are the ultimate Twizzler. And there's a big difference. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the other Twizzlers, but the individually wrapped Twizzler, that is the one.
Like we're talking like the cherry flavored one?
Yeah. Or I think it's the strawberry one, but either way.
Is it like this is what we're talking about right here?
That one right there.
We could use
that
this
exact
picture,
one.
but yeah, okay. All right, Twizzler coming.
Twizzler.
The pull apart one?
No.
Okay,
Pull and peel is different. Pull and peel.
I think they
Oh.
discontinued those.
Yeah, we're not. We're fans. We'll eat them, but this is not the Halloween one. All right, next. Reese's Shapes. Now here's the important.
What's going on here?
the holiday shape, yeah.
Important. Holiday shapes. Ariel alluded to this earlier. Also, Ariel alluded to it like he just discovered it, as if they hadn't been doing it for decades.
For the first time.
Every holiday, whether it be Easter, whether it be Christmas, whether it be Halloween, Reese's comes out with their shapes, right? It can be an egg. It can be
Christmas tree, pumpkin,
Christmas tree, pumpkin,
heart.
They taste different. They have a different texture. They have a different consistency.
Different
and
ratio of chocolate to peanut butter.
This is the number 2. This is the one that is important.
All right.
There's a distinction because number 1 is the Reese's cup. And if you don't have Reese's
so we're going Reese's cups and Reese's
cups?
shapes. I'm not gonna lie, man. I've been completely thrown off here. You were like, this is the definitive list. And we're talking about specific type of Twizzler, and we're talking Reese's Shapes and Reese's Cups.
Well, here's the thing. You will get all of those on Halloween. Those individually wrapped Twizzlers, like nobody's really like finding those. Like you can find them, but more times than not, they're in the Halloween bags. They're the ones that you're actually getting in your bag. And the Reese's Shapes, those are around holidays. Like these are true Halloween candies, especially like the Reese's Shapes. They taste different. The cups and the shapes, very different consistency, different taste when you put them into your mouth. It's important because they're number 1 and number 2. That's the important thing.
Hey, Rick, we actually have your dentist on the line right now, and he is just shaking his head like, what is
This is a Halloween candy ranking
My dentist is a woman, and I'm going to see her tomorrow, and she's a lovely
We're
lady.
playing this video for her.
All right, Frankie. That list,
I have to admit, that's a pretty solid list.
Thank you,
It's
Frank.
a solid list. I thought you were going to run away with it. You just play the favorites and because I have a couple controversial ones on my list, and I can't wait to get to them. But before we do that, Frankie.
What he just did was he played the Dodgers. He got to 5th inning and then just 5 runs. Solid.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I need people to.
You're getting out of me.
I need my people who know that there's a difference between the shapes to weigh
I actually
in.
do kind of agree that they do taste different.
They taste different.
But I didn't rank that.
It's you gotta respect the ratio.
All right,
Gotta
Frankie.
respect.
All right.
It's your world, baby.
Oh, I was supposed to do this too.
Good one.
All right, so there's nothing really fancy about my list. It's just a solid list. At number 5, we start with a all-time favorite. You gotta
Skittles.
taste,
Okay.
Gotta taste the
I'm
rainbow.
a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big
The
fan.
Great marketing that they did, where it was like it's showering Skittles. As a kid, I was like, God, one day, one day it's gonna happen.
Sour,
No,
tropical,
after
straight,
my first
normal.
root canal, I was like, I'm never eating sour Skittles again. 'Cause
I
I swear that's
I
what
love
happened.
sour
I got
Skittles.
a bad mouth sore when I was young because I ate so many sour Skittles.
It does it's abrasive. You start to get to like eat a hot food type thing.
Warheads too. One time I ate so many
yeah.
of those, I actually had to go to a doctor and like have a get like shit in my mouth. Yeah, I mean I was housing them. I used to love them.
That's a solid choice, Frankie. I'm a big fan.
Next up, Fruity Tootsie Rolls.
Oh boy.
Wow.
These are not.
Or
These are not your mama's Tootsie Rolls.
yes, I know what you're talking
These
about.
are
The
the fruity
strawberry, the
ones.
vanilla.
Yeah. No. Okay, vanilla. That is not fruit.
Thank God.
Just to be clear.
Thank God you said vanilla's out at least.
Throw
Thank
those,
God.
I don't even throw
I
them
actually don't
back
mind
in the
the vanilla
bag.
Tootsie
I
Roll.
carry them back to the house that gave it to me, and
Yeah.
I throw it at their window.
Okay.
I actually don't mind the vanilla
All right,
Tootsie Roll.
you've redeemed it. It's too high, but you've redeemed this
It's
as a
too high.
selection.
No. Fruity Tootsie Rolls, especially the lemon one. I get it.
Lemon's
You're
very
kind
good.
of on the verge of, is it a Starburst just rolled up as a Tootsie Roll? Who cares? It's amazing. It's from Texas, so am I. Shout out.
Tootsie's based in Texas?
Wow. I can't believe we're having this
Have they changed
conversation.
the packaging since they started in like 1912?
No, absolutely not.
Tootsie.
You
Wow.
guys ever
Fruit
had
Chews.
Dots before?
Yes.
Okay, they're not on the list. That's like an old
Thank
person
God.
I
candy,
actually
but-
like dots too. I'm gonna say
It tracks. It
vanilla
tracks with what I
Tootsies
think of
and
you, yeah.
dots.
So number 3, this one was a tough one because there are 2 individually wrapped candies that you get at Halloween time, and you have to choose between Smarties or Sweet Tarts, and I've chosen Sweet Tarts. Now, real quick, I'm actually thinking they used to come in the little paper thing. You tear it and you get 3 of them inside, different colors. Then they were watching what Smarties was doing and like, oh, that's genius. You got to have the Mylar plastic and twist the ends, and they've been doing that. So now it's like, do I do the Smarties or do I do the Sweet Tarts? Always Sweet Tart forward. Smarties if that's all that's left.
Sweet tarts, my favorite, the chewy ones. Absolutely love those. Number 2,
Animal.
have you ever smoked the Smarties before?
Oh
Yes,
yeah, of
man.
course.
Crush it up.
This is
I
the
like
first time I'm
ripping a
hearing of
Smarties
this.
heater.
I don't
Takes
know
the
if
edge off. 5th grade and whatnot. All right, I can't
Speaking
hate.
of taking the edge off,
Uh-oh.
if you're hungry, why wait? Eat a frickin' Snickers.
Oh my
Snickers
gosh!
is the
I thought you were about to go
perfect
now and later. I really, for a
Wow.
second, I thought you were about to go now and later at 2, and I was gonna lose my shit, Frank. Snickers, respect. That's a
Snickers-
that's a solid
Snickers
score.
is
You
very
got the
solid.
nougat, the caramel, the peanuts, the chocolate, and then here's a little. This is not actually on the list, but Snickers ice cream bars. Oh my! Are like
Those
the
are-
only
those are
contender
separate,
to
though.
Snickers.
Definitely
Those are
separate.
but
Have
there's
the
just-
fun size Snickers got even smaller? I feel like there was the fun size, and it was
Now they're-
about
They got
this
more
big.
fun. They
Now
got
they're
more
the-
Yeah,
fun.
now it's like half
square,
that.
a
It's
square.
literally a square. They're ripping us off. This needs to be brought up in the next presidential debate.
What I love about Frank's list is a good combination of chocolate and fruity candy. I'm a
Gotta
fan.
respect the menu.
respect
Every
them.
time you dip your hand
Don't
in
talk
the
about the
bag.
menu anymore. Just keep going.
So then, before we go on to the last one, I also want to shout out Snickers Blizzards from Dairy Queen. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, man, they're great, dude. We really like
Yeah,
Snickers.
we like
What's your number
Snickers.
1?
What's your number 1?
Actually, number 1 is Snickers as well.
Snickers ice
Can't
cream
get enough.
products.
No, number 1. I don't know how popular this candy is, but when I
Oh,
first had
Jesus
it,
Christ. What is he
it
about to
never
do?
changed. These are Zours. Zours are from the Mike and
Okay,
Ike
time
family.
out.
Never heard of them.
Time out.
Time out.
Time out.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like Mike and
no,
Ike's.
yeah.
Oh, they're like sour Mike and Ike's?
They are
Okay.
amazing.
Okay,
I think
so-
they are a gift from the Magi.
We're going to have to have a conversation because that's actually my favorite candy.
Wow.
Now,
wow.
it's not a Halloween candy because nobody
Yeah.
gives that shit out.
Hey, Rick.
But it is
How
my
often
favorite
do you
candy.
get Mike and Ike Sours in the Halloween bag?
Jesus, like people, honestly, you get them in the little individual yellow bags. Those people, I
Never
go,
seen it.
I mow their lawn. I'm like, do you need me to babysit the kids? What's going on? Like, that's how you win favor. Your thing, but on Halloween, that's how you know who your real neighbors are.
Okay, so
I've never gotten it.
so to be clear, these are just the sour Mike and Ike's.
I can't believe you were just degrading them to some the sour Mike and Ike.
I mean, I'm looking at a box that says Mike and Ike
Sours.
Sours.
But here's a great thing about them. You've never had them. Unlike the sour Skittles, there's not just a ton of sugar on the outside of it. It does not cause those abrasions. It is just the sour flavor and taste. They go down smooth. You can suck on it and you'll get the flavor out. You've aced the candy pound for pound, Frank, but you failed the Halloween because nobody gives this out.
It's bullshit.
Never seen
I don't
it
know
once.
what they
Never
do
seen
in
it one time.
Amityville. You're probably running for
never
your
had it.
life from house to house.
Connor,
trying to
you ever gotten Zowers?
I've never even had Zowers. Period.
It's
I've never
not
even
my
seen
fault.
it.
You guys have grown up in some weird neighborhoods.
I actually
right?
respect this list, man.
Jordan, shake your head, yes or no? No, never seen it. Never
just
seen
texted
it.
me +1 on Zowers. That shit is delicious. I
Zowers
get it for Halloween and give them out on Halloween every year. Shout out to
Wow,
Shaheen
shout out to Shaheen, giving out the number one.
It was on a Halloween. I'm sorry that everyone has taken them by the time you get there because you're like, oh, I gotta have my Laffy Taffy or whatever.
Zowers
Taffy
is a
dog shit
tremendous
Halloween candy.
No, disrespect
tremendous
to Laffy
candy.
Taffy. I love.
Okay, that was better than you were expecting. You were kind of selling it like we were really going to hate it. I think it's just clear that you
No, you guys were shitting on it before I even.
You were like,
everything.
no one's going to like it. I think it's just clear that you enjoy fruity, chewy stuff.
Oh, really? You can tell that from the Snickers, the Snickers ice cream, the Snickers.
And also pick stuff that's not Halloween stuff.
You opined about the Snickers, but also
you gotta respect the menu.
You gotta respect the menu. # respect the menu. I think the only thing was the Tootsie fruit rolls.
What the hell is it? Like, who doesn't like fruity Tootsie Rolls?
They're not top 5. They're not top 5.
You know what? You're not top 5.
They're good. That's fine. That's fine.
Right.
They're good, but they're not top 5.
Mine's gonna be the most controversial. Then I'm definitely gonna get some hate. I know I'm gonna get some hate.
I rolled up the
If
sleeves
you've
for this
out
one.
hipstered Frank, this is. Gonna
I haven't out hipstered 5. It's gonna be like the Zowers. They're definitely not my one. But I can go through these. Like an open bag is an empty bag of these. They are the caramel apple lollipops, like the green apple lollipop covered in caramel. We have a picture of it for proof. These things, I can absolutely rip through these. Shout out another Tootsie product. But yeah, I've probably had 100 of these this month. I mean, I don't know why. I just love them.
I've seen them, never eaten them. That looks like a Charms Pop with caramel. That's essentially what that is.
Essentially,
right?
yeah. It's a green apple lollipop covered in caramel. If we did 10 deep, this probably would have been an 8 or 9, but I had to show it some respect and put it on the list.
Get it?
Next up, this will absolutely be the most controversial opinion, and I got a huge grin across my face when we heard this yesterday on the Ariel Helwani show.
Oh.
One man might have Bounty as number one, and the other man might have Bounty as.
Who would have Bounty as
shampoo
number one?
and
What the
conditioner?
fuck is wrong with that person?
You don't know about Bounty?
We know Bounty.
Bounty is
I don't know
disgusting.
It's like an off-brand almond joy without the almond.
Oh, you guys don't know Bounty?
Chocolate
Almond
rainbow
joy
coating.
is
Bounty's
disgusting
disgusting.
on
The
its own.
coconut,
Ariel.
disgusting.
Yes,
What's
Petesy.
better?
Thank you, my brother.
Number 4, Almond Joys, baby. Give me that almond. Give me the coconut. Cover it in chocolate and serve it up. I get it. I get why you can hate it. You probably don't like coconut. I absolutely love coconut. I love everything tropical. That's why I'm going to a tropical destination this weekend. Pineapple on pizza I like. Almond Joys, absolutely love it. And you know what was so special about it at Halloween time? If you're making trades with your friends, everyone hates Almond Joys. So I could be
You
like,
could snatch it up.
I could be like, you wanna? How about 1 3 Musketeer for 4 Almond Joys? And people are like, sure thing. And I was just like, this is scamming at this point. I mean, this is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
you're getting scammed.
Love coconut, love chocolate, love almonds. And I'm a just zoom whole thing in the mouth. Almond Joys, I'll eat even not it.
What about Bounty? Is Bounty comparable?
No.
Bounty's not comparable.
First of all, Bounty needs to upgrade the packaging. If you've never seen Bounty,
I only know paper towels. I don't know what Bounty can.
This is what it looks like. It looks like someone made it in like
paper towels is the thing that comes
paper
up,
towels.
so.
It looks like someone made it in like clip art or something like that. I mean, it's just like the worst thing ever. But that is just straight.
That's
it's like
just coconut.
Yeah, it's like Mounds, but Mounds doesn't have the almond in it, and it's dark chocolate.
It's garbage.
I also enjoy Mounds. I'm sure we're gonna post this on social afterward. I know I'm gonna get absolutely.
You're
shit
gonna get people who love it, and you're gonna get people who hate it.
That is the candy.
Polar.
You either love them or you hate them. I love them. Almond Joys, number 4. Now let's get into the top 3, which I feel like are inarguable. Coming in at number 3, it's like what you said, Twix. You get the
Twixes.
cookies, you get the caramel, you get the chocolate. I will eat a Twix. Halloween, I will eat a Twix. July 4th, I will eat a Twix. On Easter, I will eat a Twix. Any day of the week, it doesn't have to just be Halloween, but when you get them thrown in the bag, when people are just, whoop, Twix, I'm just like, yes, sir, absolutely love Twix. You get 2 of them sometimes if you get the full size. Shout out to people like
Go to Helwani's house.
Yeah, shout out to that. Number 2, another one that you get 2 of that I absolutely cannot believe didn't make any of y'all's lists. It's an absolute classic, a staple on Halloween. Kit Kats. Can you give me a break? Kit Kats, one of my favorite candy bars of all time. Also, I will seek these out outside of Halloween. I will, if I'm in a store and they have a new flavor or something, I will cop the newest flavor. So many different flavors that you can get. Classic. You know, you got green tea.
Have you ever had green tea?
Oh, green teas are fantastic. Strawberry, peach. They've got, chocolate donut.
Wow. I didn't know they had these.
Oh, dude, it's big in Japan. I like a bunch of different
the green
flavors.
tea I got.
My girlfriend visited Japan the other year and she brought me back like 15 different flavors of Kit Kat. I love Kit Kats. I love the crunch, love the chocolate. I can house Kit Kats. Like king size, I could go through 2 of them. Absolutely love them. And number 1, the fact that it didn't make your top 5 is just downright disrespectful, Frankie. It's Rick's number 1 and 2. Reese's Cups are the king of Halloween candy. They got the colors orange and black down, the peanut butter, the chocolate. You see a Reese's Cup go into your bag, you're just like, that's getting
automatic.
Later. That is absolutely getting eaten later. And that's the rankings. Those are my 5.
I feel like we all had pretty good lists, I'll be honest. Like
people are going to come after us. I know
that's
that.
That's fine. I feel like we had good lists. Like Frank obviously did something, rogue last week. This week, I feel like he definitely came correct and represented. Sweet Tarts feels like a weird inclusion. The Fruity Tootsie Rolls feels like a weird inclusion. But Skittles, Snickers, Sours is like super money. The biggest problem is like we had to have unanimous number 1 because there is no alternative.
It's Reese's for me.
It's number 1. There is no. This is not number 1 was already filled in. There was nothing to debate. Sure. Then 2 through 5, we could have a conversation about.
I feel very good about my 1 through 3. I knew 4 and 5 were going to create controversy, but I just love them. I had to have them in there just to pay respect to not only the candies, but also to myself as a man that, you got to stand on your pride and on your business. And Almond Joy and Caramel Apple Pops, I will back up till the day I die. Some ones that we didn't mention that I think a lot of people are going to bring up.
I would have had Kit Kat right under in this territory.
I love Milky Ways, and one that I would get a lot on Halloween that I would never really see, the Midnight Milky Way.
Yeah, the dark.
Love the name, love the dark, love everything about it. One that I never eat unless it's Halloween, Three Musketeers.
Yeah, same.
Love Three Musketeers, only would ever eat them on Halloween. What else are we missing?
I mean, there's all kinds of lollipops, right? You get a lot of Tootsie Pops. Sure. You get a lot of Charms Pops. I'm a big Charms Pop guy. One thing I noticed about yours, you're very chocolate. Do you like
chocolate.
fruity? Do you like
I like fruity stuff, but I'm just such a.
You're more chocolate.
Butterfingers. Someone just threw those in the chat. That barely missed
just
my top 5.
Yeah.
Butterfingers are unbelievable. I absolutely love them. Wow, Gav saying this is an old man list from Rick and GC. Are the young kids eating other candies? I thought these were.
If Reese's ain't your.
Yo, Brandon QFG throwing in $100 bar, another candy I only eat on Halloween. Mad respect.
These are all great, but they can't be the top 5. They can't be the grail.
I agree with you. Butterfinger and $100 are fantastic. Crunch bars.
I love a crunch bar.
Get those thrown in there.
Is it on your way to playing bingo or on the way back?
What is this?
Oh yeah, Frank, you
eat Tootsie Roll, the fruit Tootsie Rolls. That's the oldest person thing I've ever heard.
You wouldn't understand.
What did you want? You want some? What is
Actually,
it?
I did.
There's originals or whatever. Or there's originals.
On Air Jordan asked me to throw a quick list, a ounce for ounce rankings of Halloween candy. These are the worst of the worst.
I love it.
We got a surprise list, do we?
I got to just say at number 5, those little suckers, they're like apple flavored. You cover them in caramel. I don't know what they are called. Oh, caramel apple pops. Disgusting. I don't know. And like,
these are the worst candies? That's what we're ranking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I love fresh coconut water, shout out. But don't cover that shit in chocolate. Almond Joy at number 4. Like, get out of here. And then I actually respect having a good chocolate, nougat, caramel, but don't put the cookie in there. And if you do, I don't need 2 of them. What the hell is this Twix thing?
What we're leading up to is about to be a debacle.
Just give me 1. I'm good. I move on to Snickers, something respectable. And then
keep going.
Number 2 is kind of the same thing because there's 2 of them. I don't understand, but Kit Kats, like, what the hell are we talking about? Like, it's basically a Twix in disguise. And then number 1. This actually hurts my soul a little bit.
Jordan, we need a topic bar that says Frank says Reese's number 1 worst candy.
This was a great bit by you, Frank, but I really think it backfired on the back end.
We need to pause for 1 second because none of you specified that on Halloween when you get the cups, they're the miniature cups. Again, the ratio is different. So what I'm thinking in my mind is you're basically just talking about 1/2 of the dual pack that you could get year round. Show some respect to the mini Reese's cups. That's why it wasn't my number 1 because I just had to watch you guys fire up and flame out like this.
You don't just get the mini Reese's cup. You also get the single pack one.
By the time you get those home, they're so soft and gooey. No, you got to get the little cups with the individual. No, you know what?
Absolutely perfect.
Some other ones, Swedish Fish, Unbelievable.
Swedish Fish, shout out.
M&Ms. When you get a nice peanut
M&M's could have been.
a peanut butter M&Ms is comparable
They
to a
don't
Reese's.
melt in
Here's the
your
thing, though.
hand.
A lot of these I'm not getting on Halloween, right? I'm not getting a pack of the peanut butter. I'm
Oh.
getting the regular M&Ms.
I would
but
get
I'm
a
not
lot
getting
of
pack
peanuts. I would get a lot of the
Sure, peanut butter is the grail, though.
Heath bars. I love Heath bars. The Heath Mini on Halloween. Absolutely love it. What else are we forgetting? Nerds. Love a good box of Nerds. Dump the whole thing in your mouth at once. I mean, there's some great ones that we're forgetting out there. I'm going through the chat right now. Three Musketeers. People love them.
But we can all unanimously agree Reese's is number one, and Frank is a nut job for not having it there.
Lifesavers gummies. Yeah, I mean, to not even have it on the
Lifesaver
top five is
gummies. They
insane.
smell like plastic.
Caramilk, Mars, and Big Turk. I'm going to guess that guy's probably in the UK.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get any of those. Gummy Nerds.
How do we feel about Peeps? Do people like Peeps?
No, and
Nah,
that's an
if you give
Easter
me-
thing.
I'm not a. No, I mean, it is, but they
You were
also
talking
have
about
them at
candy
Halloween.
corn not long ago, right? I was actually surprised that's not on your list.
Wait, me?
I thought it was you.
I think it might have been Connor.
Reese's Pieces. You get a rare Take 5 or something in there.
I truly considered number 3 being Reese's Pieces, but I thought maybe that might be a little
what
bit of
about a
overkill.
whatchamacallit?
I like those.
Starburst.
Starburst.
Okay.
Starburst
Payday?
and Skittles, I feel like are.
Sour
Yeah.
Patch Kid plus Twizzler, you get the Sour Punch straws. How do we feel about those?
Yeah, I'm down with Sour Punch straws.
I like those, but there's better sour straws than those.
So when Connor's done knitting, he picks out a Sour Punch straw. And
Paydays.
where is this coming
Yeah,
from?
what is this like old? I eat one of the most popular candies on earth and I'm old.
The best candy.
Paydays. I only eat on Halloween. Those are also good. Let's flip the script though. Fuzzy Peaches, shout out like the peach rings. Those I feel like are rare. Milk Duds, kind of chewy, but
I'm not a Milk Dud guy.
you know they get stuck in the teeth. But like overall taste wise, worst Halloween
Whoppers?
candies.
Whoppers?
Almond Joy, Mounds, not even close.
Crazy. I mean that's just like a personal thing, but like actually getting like double bubble, like a piece of double bubble thrown in your bag, it's just like what the fuck are you doing,
Oh,
man?
no.
Please, you're offending me.
Bazooka?
No, gum. Let's skip the gum. Let's skip all
I don't
gum.
need. I don't
the
need the
funny
hard
comics
gum. I'm gonna lose
Nah,
the.
skip the gum.
Speaking of skipping, fruit. Don't give me fruit. I like fruit. Know your audience. You put a banana in my bag, I'm gonna come back and TP your house later.
You don't like runts?
No, that's not fruit.
Candy,
that's candy.
though, man.
They look like fruit.
They look like fruit, but you give me an apple or something and be like, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah,
I'm
no
gonna
good.
ding dong ditch you later for sure. I'm gonna be like, dude, know your audience.
What
Know
was
your audience.
what was a Halloween like when you were, let's say, 15? What were we doing? Was it
And that was-
eggs? Was it toilet paper? Was it ding dong
Toilet
ditch?
paper.
What were we doing?
I was big on ding dong ditching and TPing houses. One time,
Eggs? Never the eggs, or yes?
Nah, never the eggs, just because like that really like caused some real damage.
Yeah, we did the eggs.
Man,
we were.
That's
we were
so. What I would
best.
do is we would set up a video camera in the yard and ding dong ditch people and like film their reactions.
Wow.
And one
Content creation.
yeah, content creation. And one time the person saw the camera and went out and grabbed it, and we had to go and ring their doorbell and ask for the camera back. It was bad. It was bad.
You didn't just cut bait. You were like, we need to get this
Dude, it
camera
was
back.
like one of my friends like $300 cameras. It was
Oh my
it was bad.
God.
And then
What did they say?
oh, they were pissed. Yeah, they were just like, "Are you all serious? Like, grow up." Blah blah blah. Told our parents all
Now, did
this.
they
was
give
the
it
whole
back?
thing. Yeah, they gave it back, but like they, told our parents all that. So the ding dong ditching days were over. Then we started TPing people, and like we got like the people woke up while we were TPing the house, and like they looked outside, and so we ran. And then we were like 15 and we got all cocky and rode by the next day on our bikes to like witness our
Yeah.
work. And they were outside cleaning it up and they just stared at us. And like 20 minutes later, they called one of our dads and was just like, "Hey, I think your children like rolled us, blah, blah, blah." And they knew. And we were so busted. It was bad. Yeah, I got caught doing several things in high school. I guess I wasn't that
You weren't
sneaky.
slick, yeah.
Yeah.
The camera planted where they could grab it was probably not a great move, you know?
Dude, it was so dumb. It was so dumb. Speaking of those old Halloween days, I woke up this morning to a text from my dad, and he was like, "Here's some pictures of Halloween through the years." I sent them to On Air Jordan.
Oh,
we got them. We can see some
let's go.
of these old school. Look at that, 2006, the classic. Just throw on a Georgia jersey and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a Georgia fan."
Who is the player that we're wearing?
Matthew Stafford. That's how old
Is
this
it
is.
really?
Matthew Stafford
Wow.
in college. That's whose jersey it is. Look at the braces. I mean, I'm looking slick. I'm looking good.
What age?
This would be 13.
Wow.
13, like nice and young. Let's
young
go
UC.
to another one here. Oh yeah, look at that. This is like 11. Had some weight on me all the way on the left. I don't know what I was here. A zombie
Donovan
Donovan McNabb. I I'm not really sure what this was. You got Napoleon Dynamite. So this must
That's
have
a
been
great one.
This was 05. Napoleon Dynamite was hot in the streets. So I was 12 when this was happening. Yeah, you got whatever. I don't even know who that is in the middle.
Did McNabb like get injured in a game and like hit his head or something? Is that what this is a reference to? Maybe
I don't know, and I actually don't even know who these other two kids are. I can't even remember who was with me. That's how long ago this was. This is almost 20 years ago. This actually this makes me sick to my stomach that this is how long it is. And I think this is 08. There I am with one of my boys, Austin. I do know who that is. Shout out. Still in contact with him today. This is when I was like 14 or 15.
Wizard? Yeah.
Wizard. This is 08. The difference between 05 and 08 is, puberty was really hitting then.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out. Some old Halloween pictures.
I love that.
Always been in the Halloween spirit. Wizard football players. The easy things to get to. What are some shitty Halloween? Whoppers, I hate. Can't do them. Candy corn. Circus peanuts. Does anyone really give out circus peanuts?
I hope not.
Those are like styrofoam. But yeah, that's it. Pound for pound rankings. Those will get contentious in the comments. Some people are going to be like, I cannot believe this list. It's the worst list I've ever seen in my entire life.
Sorry, I was getting a message from On Air Jordan. So
whoa, what's he saying? What's up?
What's up, Jordan?
Is Jordan going to speak?
Speak now or forever hold your peace, Jordan.
No, he's not.
I was saying Alex responded. Oh, haymakers. Yes. Yeah, so if we want to, Jordan doing the producing back there has got a graphic. Haymakers posted about Belal Muhammad's injury, saying that Belal Muhammad is reportedly out of his title offense via Al Zolino. Shout out. And look who is the top comment with a telephone emoji. Alex Politan Pereira. I actually have that. It's funny that you said that. I have that up right now on my screen. Call Politan?
That's the move. I mean, it was the move before. It's the move now. Is it too soon? Like, is this the version of that fight we want ultimately? Probably not, right? We'd like to see Alex at full strength. We'd like to see Magomed not, fresh off a fight and maybe you have a little more time between it. But with limited options and on the magical run of short notice fights that Alex Pereira is on.
So here's my argument for it. You unload the clip, you break the bank for it, you get an amount of money where he can't say no. Because if it pays off, if he wins, like the star power, not only does he save this pay-per-view, but the star power that will come from it would just be so, and you get the Magomed fight out of the way, which I think they don't love the idea of doing, but like he is the deserving title contender. You get that fight out of the way just like that. You have one of the greatest years in UFC history. I mean, it's just like, if you do it, if you got it done, and he won, it would be unbelievable, and you would have like a super duper uber duper duper star on your hands.
Here's the other thing. You put yourself on a nice little timeline that if you expedite this and you get it done in December, 1 month ago, John Jones and Stipe Miocic would have handled their heavyweight business. And now you're closely aligned with a timeline that could put Alex Pereira in the cage with John Jones, assuming he wins. Shout out to Stipe Miocic and all the reports that Ariel is hearing that Stipe is like locked in, or Tom Aspinall. And now you don't have to worry about clearing the Magomed Ankalaev hurdle that is potentially behind you if you're successful. And you've now entered a conversation where you could move up to heavyweight and fight for one of those titles. Feels like the dice roll, the gamble is probably worth it.
Yeah, you do this and then you say, not only are we going to give you all this money, we're also going to give you either John Jones or you're either going to give John Jones or Tom Aspinall next. Or shit, I mean, maybe even like Khamzat Chimaev comes up to 205. Either way, you just promise the guy essentially a mega fight for his next one. Take your time off, come back.
And also, those are not dependent on him being champion potentially, right?
Yep.
So
come back International Fight Week, fight then, get your time off. But yeah, call Politan.
Producer Jordan is also telling me we have a response from Kamaru Usman as well. Oh, he's looking for a call.
He's saying
we ran through the rankings, right? Wasn't he? He was 1 or 2, I believe.
Usman versus Shavkat.
Yeah, where was he ranked?
I don't hate that. And talk about being a gamer. Talk about being a BMF.
Yeah, he did it against Hamza,
and then he steps up and take this. Yeah, Kamaru Usman is number 2 right now.
Yeah,
just in front of Shavkat Rakhmonov. I don't hate that. Former champ.
That feels like a pay-per-view main
star in
event
his own right.
Yep, that feels like a pay-per-view main event.
Interim title.
I think they would have to put an interim up.
Okay,
if he was to do that.
Yeah, you get Kamaru Usman back, and you say if you win, you get Belal next.
Yeah,
I'm down. I like that. All right, so
I don't hate it.
Call Kamaru or call Poatan.
The Poatan feels like a break glass in case of emergency. I think you can keep this welterweight. Then you get to have the Shavkat fight. Then you get Kamaru in there, and you get a little bit of mainstream like star power. And then winner fights Belal. That feels right. Now, if I'm Belal, am I going like, geez, I just got this belt and they're making an interim title? But at the same time, like as long as it just signifies number one contendership, I don't hate that direction. I don't hate a Kamaru, and I definitely don't hate it if they call Alex either. So. Limited options, but the options that seem to be presenting themselves are interesting.
They are very interesting. I'm going to say that I want Shavkat Kamaru or Poatan. That's how I'm officially going on the record. All right. Any more super chats, Frank, or any more questions in the chat?
We do have a few things that we should probably address. Number one being that we got some new members. We have Efra Herrera, Amp315.
Oh, shout out to Amp. Legend.
Pooch.
Shout out to Pooch.
Howard Disc Golf.
Oh, yeah.
And Malkabees. Thank you all for subscribing. That's awesome. A couple questions. Alex B asked, any interest or any future plans to have an actual fighter, former or current, do a regular segment on the show? Maybe a skill fight breakdown?
I would love that. It's just, are we big enough to get a current or former fighter to commit to that?
We're still building here. We're still kind of finding what the show is going to be ultimately, and we're trying to, go through that with you guys on the journey. Suggestions like that, always welcome. I think that'd be a great idea. But yeah, we're definitely open to that. We're having conversations about what we think guests could be and how we're trying to mix that in. So yeah, more feedback, the better. In consideration, would not be opposed to that.
Please, feedback. Tweet us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Chat us.
Tell us how shitty we are.
Derek the Dad asked, what is your favorite Halloween costume ever?
Might be this one, man. This is multiple pieces across many different shops with the custom belt. I feel like when I was a kid, I like kind of worked with what I had. I was Scream a couple times. One time I had the Scream with the mask that you could pump the blood. Yeah, Ghostface with you could pump the blood under the robe and the blood would go down the mask. That was always pretty cool. But yeah, it was kind of like football players and wizards and like just like kind of makeshift stuff. Now that I'm older and can like afford real costumes, like I feel like I can do cooler stuff.
I was a nun one year. That one went over well. Like people liked the nun outfit. When I was a kid, I did a lot of Ghostface. Ghostface was a regular one because most of my Halloweens were not trick-or-treating. Like by the age of 10, it was just us like going around causing havoc in the neighborhood.
Wow, 10.
I kind of stopped with the candy and was just like...
I think probably like 14, 15 maybe was my last year trick-or-treating.
I wanted to spend so much more time throwing eggs at people's houses and throwing toilet paper. Really? I was a real piece of work. I was going to use a different word. So the costumes weren't as important, but Ghostface was a good one because it's kind of light and you're covered and nobody's going to know who you are anyway. What
about you, Frankie?
One year I was Rick Brunson.
Oh, nice.
Little known basketball player. My original AOL screen name was Slick Rick Brunson.
Oh, love it. Love it.
And
love hearing people's AOL
turns out Jalen Brunson, his son, is actually like a fucking tremendous basketball player.
Stud.
Random. Frank?
I dressed up as a pumpkin once. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, that is good. That is good.
Good one.
We have one from Lazy Bed. It says, it's not actually a question. It's just a declarative statement. Rick, get out of town. Wild list.
Oh, Rick, get out of town. Wild list.
I feel like mine's pretty safe. I could have gone more.
I think that's what you were actually going for. That would be the only criticism. It's too safe.
Well, okay. That's fair enough then. If that's the criticism, I can accept that. But like... Reese's. I mean, come on.
I can't wait to read the comments on these lists.
Alex Hurst asks if Alex is ensuring he gets Fighter of the Year.
If he does it, yes.
I mean, yes, of course he guarantees Fighter of the Year if he does this. I think win or lose. But I will say, I don't think he cares about that. I don't think that's why he would do it. I don't think he's like, I need to do this to get Fighter of the Year because Ilya won. No, I think they would give him a monstrous payday.
Agree with you. If he did it, win or lose, he's my vote. I mean, he's already my vote, but this would just further it.
Shav got posted on his Instagram story, him cheersing. I can't tell what he's drinking, either tea or beer, and it says, to Bilal's health. So shout out. I'm sure he's chilling today. There it is. Yeah, shout out to Shavkat. He doesn't look too bothered by it. I guess he's just going to wait. He kind of seems BMF-y in the way that if it's Kamaru Usman, he'll take it. If it's Ian Gary, he'll take it. He'll fight anyone.
I definitely think he just wants an opportunity. Anything else,
man?
Yeah, it looks great.
That's all I've got.
I mean, let's snap a nice picture here. Throw the hood on. This is something I'll post. Later on. This is look at us.
There is a request
There
from
it
the
is.
chat, Rick, if
There's
you
the
could just
picture.
give us your best moo.
Oh yeah.
Man, I didn't even think to do it.
You gotta.
Is it deep? Is it
Moo.
guttural? Yeah. Moo.
No one in the chat asked for that. That was
Oh,
thank
okay.
you.
Couple great bits from you today.
Frank, can you give me one? I feel like you're more attuned to it. Your ear is better than mine.
Yeah.
Jesus, I knew it was you that did the cat back at the MMA hour too.
That's not even true.
We discovered it.
Yafet clarifies that is tea. He's drinking tea. He's not drinking alcohol or anything. So shout out to Shavkat. Grasply Firmit. Oh, instead of firmly grasp it, shout out to Patrick from SpongeBob. Is Conor McGregor totally out of the picture? He was asking to fight in 2024.
For December?
Yeah,
he's
Real quick,
good, bro.
Elijah Dream wants to know, this is a super chat.
Shout out Elijah
GC,
Dream.
can we get the DraftKings League back? Question mark. So that's 2 question marks.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
very
I mean,
important.
I'm a big, actually, it was a question mark, exclamation point. $2 Canadian. Thanks so much, Elijah Dream, absolute legend. Yeah, we can work on it. I guess it would be a boys in the back. I mean, if we're breaking the fourth wall here, like we had a deal with DraftKings.
Yeah, the DraftKings was the title sponsor of the MMA Hour. So
And they're no longer.
maybe there's
sponsored.
somebody else who can.
Maybe
bring
there's
that
another
to us.
fantasy company out there.
Yeah. But not out of the question. Again, like we could do something in the interim if you guys are interested in it. So we'll look into that.
Is Rick? Is his costume some play on the words of bull cow? I don't get it. Nope, it's Moo Dang. That's a Luol Dang.
What do you say,
jersey.
Bua Cow?
Bull cow.
Bull Cow. Bull Cow.
Yao Ming.
Yao Ming?
Yeah, someone said you should have worn the jersey backwards. Really tripped up on
No,
words
because
there.
I feel like I said whose jersey is this? You guessed it right off bat. Number 9 Bulls is like a pretty known, like the Luol
You did
Deng
a good
jersey was
job.
there for
This
a
was
long time.
funny.
Thank you. I workshopped this with a few friends. I was like, what do you think? This is good because pun can be dicey. Like if it's not good, they gave me the thumbs up, so I felt confident doing it.
Rick, why did you not come to Dorney Park last weekend?
Did I not come to Dorney Park?
See, not every question on the chat's a banger.
I don't have any plans to go to Dorney Park. I like Dorney
Rick,
Park.
Why didn't you come to Dorney Park last weekend? That's from Goons and Gaffs.
I don't know. I like Dorney Park though. I've been many times. I used to go to a day camp called AmeriCamp, and one of the main trips that we would take like day trips every once in a while and return home late at night. And one of them was Dorney Park. The roller coasters were tremendous. I'm a fan. But I just never had plans to go there this weekend.
Derek the Dad said that your cat impression sounded like a homeless cat, Frankie.
Never heard of him.
Shout out Derek the Dad. Legendary 9, Yafet.
Yeah.
Respects the Luol Dang jersey.
Yeah, Deng's a G.
Frankie serving up dishes of PF Chang's. Shout out to ASAP OX3. Oh man, Brandon QFG thought it was a Kirk Heinrich jersey. Legend.
Was he 9?
I don't know actually.
Because didn't Heinrich and Deng play together? I don't think he was 9, was he?
I only know Kirk Heinrich from his.
Wasn't he like 12 or something? I don't know. I think he was 12.
Yeah, I think he probably was. I only know him from his Hawks days.
Yeah. Jordan confirming. I mean, come on. Like the players from your age 15 to 25 jersey numbers, like we're gonna know that off rip. Like that. Like come on, 9. Get it right. This is Luol.
Someone asked me when my twin is fighting, obviously referring to one Guram Kutaladze.
Is he booked?
I actually don't think he's booked. I need to get him on the horn and see how twin is doing. Rajon Rondo reminds me of Nine.
That was later. Yeah, that was later years, but that would have been Celtics. Guys, I mean, come on. It's a dang jersey. And by the way, this is like, I ordered this off eBay. Authentic from the Adidas era. Like, solid jersey. I'm impressed.
It is. No ad on it.
The
That's
shine,
how old it is.
And
Yeah.
the shine is nice on it.
No ad on it. That's how old it is. 24-inch Dubs says that he was listening to the show in his company lunchroom, and his coworker said that Frank's list was bad.
Yes, very bad. Very, very bad.
I agree. All right. I think that'll just about do it here for the boys in the back on this Halloween edition. You've got kids to go trick or treat with. What's the costume for this evening?
I said it's going to be crayon box, and the kids and the wife are crayons.
Crayola or Rose art?
Crayola.
That's absolutely.
No, we don't do that.
Get out of here with the rose art. Thank you.
We don't do the rose art.
Brandon QFG, thoughts on the World Series this year? What an abomination that was from the
I'd
Yankees.
like Jordan's
in that fifth
thoughts.
inning last year.
Jordan, throw up a topic bar.
Yeah.
With some thoughts on the Yankees.
That fifth inning was absolutely horrendous last night. I couldn't believe my eyes, and I'm not even a Yankees fan. It was so bad. The Judge dropped over to third, botched it. Garrett Cole not getting to first. Rizzo not getting to first. It was bad, man. It was bad. They could be up 3-2 right now instead of at home having lost.
Yeah, I have a lot of Yankees friends, and I have a group chat that's like a lot of Yankees, Knicks, Giants fans, and on air, Jordan doesn't need this recap of the fifth inning. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. Shout out to my guy Vishal. My heart breaks for you. He's the most diehard Yankees fan I know. But let's just have a Judge conversation. I mean, I think it's time.
He had a great game last night until he dropped that ball. Clayton Edwards asked if we can get a Stone Cold impression, smash some beers. I'm actually walking downstairs to get some beers right now to do just that. Don't want to mess up the studio here. Shout out to Elijah Dream, 24-inch Dubs, Brandon QFG, you fat. Appreciate you, Washington. Beef Wellington, great name. Grassley Furman, another great name. Chris Garcia, Fabo, Alex Knowles, Sir Spliffington, fantastic name. Shout out to Sir Spliff, man. Shout out to everyone that watched, man. Shout out to y'all. I hope y'all have a fantastic
Happy Halloween.
Hope y'all enjoy trick-or-treating with your kids.
Get some Reese's.
We're almost there. About to go get some brews, Stone Cold. Going to Mexico this weekend. It's going to be great.
Suspicious.
Thanks for watching. Happy Halloween, everybody. From the chat, baby. From the chat.